This isn't right.
Welcome to Degrassi.
Before Clay Jensen couldn't finish those damn tapes in one sitting.
Am I safer now? Huh? I got your gun!
Before Cassie Howard was creeping with her best friend's man.
You dumb fucking bitch! I'm gonna fuck!
And before Quinn Fabray lied about the father of her baby.
We'll call the Vatican. We got ourselves another immaculate conception.
There was one teen drama that set the stage and the blueprint for what teen dramas should be. As you can tell by the title, today we'll be delving into the iconic Degrassi franchise. After all, their main tagline was Degrassi, it goes there. However, even though Degrassi is still a cultural phenomenon and still integrated in pop culture, the show itself had high highs and low lows. From weak writing and storytelling to jumping the shark a few times, welcome to the rise and fall of Degrassi Part 1. I discovered Degrassi, The Next Generation, when I was the ripe age of 13 back in 2016. Before the official Degrassi YouTube channel was posting their HD versions of all 14 seasons. There was a little channel called Degrassi YT, which had all 14 seasons, and I binge watched all of them. I also watched seasons 3 and 4 of Next Class while they were airing. Justice for Esme. And then while me and the other fans were waiting for season 5 of Next Class, crickets. But we'll get to that later on. To fully understand the rise and fall of Degrassi, we must go back to the humble beginnings. Degrassi wasn't always the angsty teen drama we know it as today. The show's first installment was The Kids of Degrassi Street, which followed young children living on Degrassi Street in Toronto, Canada. Created by a former school teacher, Linda Schuler, and her friend Kid Hood, who would both be involved in all 5 installments of the show. They developed The Kids of Degrassi Street from a book named Ida Makes a Movie, which was turned into a short film, ultimately being the first episode in the Degrassi franchise. The show aired from 1979 to 1986, consisting of only 1 season and 26 episodes. It had a happy-go-lucky approach and depicted the everyday lives and tribulations that elementary school kids go through, like little kids losing their dolls, kids dealing with their parents remarrying, and kids coping with their parents being behind bars. Hold on. Wait, what? Maybe this isn't so happy-go-lucky after all. I won't lie, I tried to watch this show, but child couldn't. It was, not my cup of tea. Either way, after the Degrassi franchise plunged into adolescence and teenage life at the deep end, it left these episodes of The Kids of Degrassi Street seeming quaint and innocent. Degrassi Junior High was the start of the formula we know Degrassi to have today. Airing between 1987 and 1989 and consisting of 3 seasons. The show plunged into the real gritty nature of teenage life that many shows were afraid to talk about. These type of topics included storylines such as a 14-year-old Spike Nelson who gets pregnant and gives birth to Miss Emma Nelson, who becomes a central character in Degrassi The Next Generation. We were also introduced to significant characters that will pop up in the next few installments, such as Caitlin Ryan, Joey Jeremiah, Archie Snake Simpson, Christine Spike Nelson, Lucy Fernandez, Mr. Radich, and Wheels. There were also heavier storylines than the last installment, such as the character of Wheels' parents dying in a car crash, exploration of sexuality as a character named Caitlin Ryan has homoerotic dreams about her teacher, the character of Stephanie McKay, who used her sexuality to win the school presidency. Stephanie K was definitely Manny Santos before Manny Santos. As you can see, the Degrassi franchise became more than just an after-school special, but something that teenagers could relate to as the characters were played by real teenagers going through real things. I won't lie, I've only watched a handful of episodes of Junior High, and as much as I enjoyed them, I never really went back to watch all of them. After Degrassi Junior High, the next installment to come out of the Degrassi franchise was Degrassi High. This installment followed the same characters from junior high into high school, airing from 1989 to 1991. The topics were just as prevalent, as we see a character named Dwayne contracting HIV, which was a huge taboo back in the 1980s/1990s. So it was very powerful how Degrassi, a show for teens, tackled this subject about STDs. The show also delved into the serious topic of abortion, where a character named Erica decides to have an abortion at 16. This is the first but not the last time Degrassi tackles the topic of abortion.
How can you be so horrible?
You're the one who's horrible. You're the one who killed a baby.
How do you know? And what's it got to do with you?
For a show about teenagers to have a storyline about abortion, which is a controversial topic, especially back in the 80s, conveys how Degrassi was never afraid to push the boundaries of what could be shown on TV. There was also a heart-wrenching storyline of a character named Claude who commits suicide in the school bathroom, and the character, Snake, who we will be seeing so much of, finds him. There were also storylines about domestic abuse and the dangers of drugs. I also think one of the biggest things to come out of the Degrassi franchise was in the Schools Out movie for Degrassi High, where Caitlin Ryan finds out that Joey Jeremiah was cheating on her with Miss Tessa Campanelli, and the first ever F-bomb was uttered on Canadian TV.
You were fucking Tessa Campanelli?
Oh, Degrassi, the trendsetters you are. Just like Degrassi Junior High, I did not watch all of Degrassi High, but I did notice a few similarities that the writers and producers would eventually reuse for the next installment. Although Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High created a foundation for what Degrassi would eventually be known for, there's one installment that catapulted it into the pop culture zeitgeist, a show that people still talk about to this day when it comes to teen dramas. Degrassi The Next Generation aired its first season on October 14th, 2001. As I've already stated, the show became a pop culture phenomenon that people still talk about today. However, to understand why the show is viewed in such high regard, we must delve into its most important aspects: the characters and the storylines. So for part 1, which is this video, we will be delving into seasons 1 to 7, all the hard-hitting episodes, the weak writing, the dramatic characters, and the occasional hairstyles that did not work. I'm looking at you, Spinner, Marco, and Manny, and the few times the show jumped the shark. Obviously, I will not be able to go through every single episode and storyline on the show because, hello, it's 14 seasons plus 4 seasons of Next Class. Yeah. No. So I'll be talking about the most notable and significant storylines and also sprinkling some other arcs and storylines that aren't so significant in between. We'll call those mini talks. For the first 2 seasons, I'll be picking out standout episodes, whereas after that, it's all story arcs, baby. Because the first 2 seasons are heavy on the standalone episodes. Before delving into the storylines, let's establish our OGs that we will be spending 7 seasons with, starting with the grade 7s. Emma Nelson, an environmentalist who has strong views and is not afraid to voice them. Manny Santos, Emma's adorable girly best friend, and my queen. JT York, the class clown. Toby Isaacs, geeky kid and JT's best friend. Liberty Van Zant, a geeky kid who can be annoying, and Sean Cameron, the bad boy who was held back a year. As for the grade 8s, we have Paige Michaelchuk, the resident mean girl, Jimmy Brooks, the popular basketball jock, dating Ashley Cohen. Ashley Cohen, a preppy girl who's a stepsister to Toby Isaacs and the girlfriend of Jimmy Brooks. Gavin Spinner Mason, a himbo at heart. Terry McGregor, a pretty girl who is insecure about her weight, and Ashley's best friend, and Hazel Aden, Paige's sidekick. We also see the return of some alumni from Degrassi High: Snake, Spike, Joey, and Caitlin. Season 1 could be seen as tame compared to the next 13 seasons, but the first 2 episodes can be used to disprove that. The 2-parter titled Mother-Daughter Reunion sets the tone for the serious topics and life lessons that TNG would tackle. The episode takes place during the last days of summer before grade 7s and 8s start at Degrassi Community School. The episode starts with the introduction of Manny and Emma. Emma meets a boy named Jordan online. Jordan is 16, whereas Emma is 12, okay? Emma has been glued to her computer screen all summer because of Jordan, and her mother, Spike, notices.
Oh, expecting an email from your boyfriend? But I can't tell when my daughter's getting interested in boys.
Mom, I'm not having sex.
I swear, Emma loved talking to her mother anyhow, and Spike allowed her to talk to her like that. Could have been me. Side note for all the fans of the alumni, the B plot involves the alumni from Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High coming back to Degrassi Community School for their 10-year reunion. Emma and Manny help out by going to the school to set up, and we see the introduction of JT, who is also helping them out. As Manny, Emma, and JT roam what will be their future school, they run into Toby, JT's camp friend, who clearly has a thing for Emma at first sight. Good luck, buddy. Emma has fallen head over heels for Jordan and even uses the school computers to check her emails. This is when Jordan says he will be in town for a school trip with some of his classmates and chaperones and would like to meet Emma. Even Manny looks at the camera like, girl, no. Throughout the first 2 episodes, her friends Manny and JT, and by extension Toby, are skeptical.
If you're meeting a stranger you met off the net, that could be really dangerous.
He's not a stranger. He emailed me his picture. I've known Jordan a lot longer than I've known you.
Okay, girl, but have you seen him face to face? No. But Emma's headstrong self ignores their warnings and agrees to meet Jordan. Emma ends up going to the hotel without telling anyone. And lo and behold, a weird-ass grown man approaches her, claiming to be Jordan's chaperone, and leads her to the supposed hotel room that the students are staying in. A few moments go by in the hotel room, and Emma starts to finally see the red flags and tries to leave. The PDF file reveals to Emma that he is Jordan and tries to assault Emma while sickly recording. Like, you wish Emma would have seen the red flags, but she's 12 and naive, so it's understandable. Meanwhile, Manny, Toby, and JT are worried about Emma and try to track her down. They discover that the PDF file has been reading Emma's emails to make it seem like she and Jordan have a lot in common. So the 3 of them rush to Degrassi Community School and alert Snake and Spike that Emma is in danger. The uncomfortable assault on Emma is stopped when Spike and Snake arrive at the hotel. Emma is clearly and understandably left shaken up. And Emma has some real ass friends in Manny and JT, even Toby, who just met her. They knew something was up and were the reason she was saved. Honestly, seeing Emma, Manny, Toby, and JT so young once you've completed the entire series is so surreal. They're literal babies. They have no idea what trauma is in store for them. The first 2 episodes being centered around a literal pedophile really set the tone that Degrassi would in fact go there. Both Terry and Paige have a crush on Spinner, but it's obvious throughout the episode that Spinner likes Terry, and Paige can see this as Terry lets Spinner use her notes. However, Terry is utterly oblivious to the fact that Spinner has a crush on her. So I'm just assuming that letting a guy use your notes in grade 8 means there's some romantic chemistry going on. Degrassi is having its first nighttime dance, but Terry tells her dad she does not want to go because she is self-conscious about her weight and doesn't think any guy would be interested in her.
I'm fat. Guys don't even notice me.
Terry, you're not fat. That's ridiculous.
No, Dad, it's true.
Her dad wants her to go and enjoy herself. However, Terry tells the girls that her dad won't let her go. But after Ashley tells Terry that she thinks that Spinner likes her, Terry is convinced to go to the dance. Paige, being the hater that she is, showcases jealousy towards Terry, but it goes unnoticed by sweet poor Terry.
If this makeover has to happen, I better be there too. Terry needs all the support she can get.
While getting ready for the dance, Paige suggests that she and Terry drink some alcohol. However, Terry is the only one actually drinking. So essentially, Paige, the hater that she is, gets Terry drunk on purpose. As the two head to the dance, Terry is sloppy drunk and telling Paige how much she likes Spinner. Like the girl's looking like a hot mess. How none of the teachers saw this is beyond me. Spinner joins Terry and Paige, completely ignoring Paige while complimenting Terry.
Hi, Spinner.
Hi.
Terry and Spinner start dancing together. Terry ends up getting really sloppy and can't continue dancing with Spinner. And here comes Paige's ass, hating on Terry and asking Spinner to dance with her.
I told Terry not to drink so much.
The next day, Terry is embarrassed but goes up to Spinner anyway. Paige, however, interrupts them and tells Terry that Spinner will be using her notes from now on. Terry and Spinner would have made such a cute couple, and Paige's ass had to go and ruin it. Side note, this episode also introduces Mr. Sean Cameron, who has to repeat grade 7. It establishes the beef between Sean and Jimmy, which I still don't understand. Like, Jimmy was trying to make Sean feel like he doesn't have to feel embarrassed by repeating grade 7, and Sean is mad at him for it. Like, make it make sense. This episode is centered around Jimmy and Ashley, who have been dating for 8 months, which honestly is a lot of time for 13-year-olds to be dating. A sex education teacher called Dr. Lizzie visits the grade 8s to talk about sex education, and Spinner asks a question that is clearly about Jimmy and Ashley.
I have a friend. He and his girlfriend are like totally serious. I'm talking like 8 months serious. How are they supposed to know when or if they're ready to, do it?
Which sparks a conversation between their friendship group about whether Ashley and Jimmy should have sex. And once again, Paige comes with her hateration.
What about you and Jimmy? I mean, 8 months is a long time.
Like, girl, you haven't even done the do yourself. Even Spinner's acting like he's the master of it.
Ashley, you'll never get past second base Kerwin.
At the same time, the grade 8s are working on a Romeo and Juliet play. Jimmy is cast as Romeo and Paige is cast as Juliet. After Paige opens her big mouth and tells Ashley that she better get busy with Jimmy or he'll find somebody else, Ashley tells Jimmy that she's ready to sleep with him on their 8th month anniversary.
Remember what Dr. Sally said today? Well, I'm ready.
Ashley buys condoms on the internet, and I don't know what futuristic Amazon Prime she had in 2001, but they arrived the next day. Terry is hesitant about what Ashley and Jimmy are planning and tries to advise Ashley if she's doing this for the right reasons. And here comes Ashley hating on Terry for not having a boyfriend. And here comes Ashley hating on Terry for never having a boyfriend.
I just don't want you to regret this later. It's a big deal.
I can't believe I'm listening to relationship advice from someone who's never even had a date.
I swear, Terry had some terrible friends around her. Jimmy and Spinner awkwardly buy condoms at the pharmacy, with this douche making it even more awkward.
You also got your choice of regular and super sensitive.
When Ashley and Jimmy are in Ashley's bedroom, Ashley breaks down and admits that she's not ready. Jimmy tells her he's not ready either. I'm like, yeah, I hope so. You guys are 13. They end up blowing the condoms into balloons. This episode further showcased how Degrassi was not afraid to talk about young people being curious about sex. The B plot is about Toby having a crush on Emma and... yeah. While Emma has a crush on Sean.
I love you. You do know that physical violence violates the Degrassi Code of Conduct, don't you?
I swear Ashley was the unofficial main character of this season because a couple of the episodes this season are centered around her. Ashley's mother and father have been divorced for some time now, and her mother is now married to Toby's father. However, Ashley notices that her mother and Toby's father have been arguing a bit, and her mother has been more friendly with her dad. Ashley thinks that this means that her parents might be getting back together. Ashley's dad visits Degrassi to talk in her media immersions class. I haven't mentioned this, but this season was really big on technology and the internet. 2001 was right after the dot-com bubble burst, and the world was getting through a tech explosion, with home computers, emails, internet chats, and early cell phones becoming normal, especially with teens. So Degrassi cleverly integrated what was happening in the real world with technology and the internet in the show. I feel like it was more in your face in season 1 than in the later seasons. Until next class, obviously, which was very internet social media heavy. Ashley's dream of her parents getting back together are crushed when her mother reveals to her that her dad is gay.
Your dad is gay.
Ashley is gagged and gooped. The next day at school, Ashley is sitting in the caf and she is still gagged about the news about her father being gay. Paige and Terry join her and Paige asks her sincerely, since her dad isn't trying to get back together with her mom and is single, that he might be gay. Ashley becomes irate and pours chocolate milk all over her and leaves. Paige, upset, states to Terry that she only suggested it because her brother is gay and that she was only trying to help. The one time Paige gets retaliated on and she wasn't even trying to be a hater. Ashley and her dad have a sit down together and Ashley finds out her dad's boyfriend is a man that they've had over to dinner and to the zoo, claiming he was just a friend. Ashley gets angry, claiming that her dad left them for his boyfriend and lied. Ashley tells Terry that she's going to cut her dad out of her life. But Terry essentially tells Ashley to get over herself because Terry lost her mother and Ashley has 2 parents still in her life who love her.
My mom died, Ash. She's never coming back. But you have your dad back.
Terry, it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. You want to know why? Because you have a choice. I don't. Don't make the wrong one.
The B plot has one of my favorite scenes in the entire show. JT and the rest of the grade 7 group theorize that Liberty has a crush on JT after she takes a fall for one of his pranks. JT, terrified of Liberty having a crush on him, pretends to be gay and delivers one of the best scenes in Degrassi history.
Hey, Liberty girlfriend.
So Ashley finding out that her dad is gay isn't a hot topic in modern times, but in 2001, when the stigma of being gay was very much prevalent, it was kind of a revolutionary topic in a teen show. In this episode, Emma has been feeling a lot more emotional lately. While Emma and her mother are at the mall eating ice cream, some weird ass man comes up to them and says this.
I'd like a lick of that. I'd like a lick of your cone. Sue me.
Spike shuts him down real quick and says this gem of a line.
Seriously, Emma, don't ever let a guy make you feel bad just for being female, okay?
We also see Emma's crush on Sean blossoming. But when Emma stands up from the bench that Manny and her were sitting on, Manny notices something on Emma's white skirt and sits her right back down. Manny, being the great best friend that she is, holds a book to cover the stain while they head to the bathroom. Emma, Miss Girl, what are you doing? Manny also says this.
You can get pregnant now.
Whew, child, let's put a pin in that, Miss Santos. So Manny and Emma find out that Emma has started her first period. While Manny tries to find Emma something to wear, Paige walks in first, chastising Emma for wearing white on her period. But when Emma says it's her first time, Paige softens and offers her a pad. Paige gives her sage advice when Emma says she's not ready to have periods.
Man, I am so not ready for this. I like being a kid.
You're still a kid, just with a mini pad. Big deal.
Paige might be a hater, but the writers knew when to let her give good advice to the younger girls. After Manny gives Emma shorts that are way too big for her, they both have to give a presentation in front of the whole class. JT and Toby are being douches and laughing at Emma's big shorts. Emma snaps at them and tells them that she just got her period and how 50% of the population gets it and it is completely normal.
No, I just got my period for the first time. Menstruation, you may have heard of it, happens to 50% of the population. Perfectly natural, nothing to be ashamed of, right, Miss Kwan?
The homie, Miss Kwan, agrees with her, while Sean looks at Emma impressed. Emma then signs to have a tampon dispenser in the girls' bathroom, and even Sean signs it.
If Emma came up with it, it's gotta be a good idea.
When Emma looks through Mr. Armstrong's maths classroom, she sees him putting his arms over Liberty's shoulders and concludes that he is being inappropriate with her. And I mean, I low-key understand where Emma is coming from because at the start of the season, we saw her literally being assaulted by a PDF file. Emma then sees Mr. Armstrong give Liberty a note outside. Emma tells Manny by the lockers about how she saw something between Mr. Armstrong and Liberty, claiming that she thinks he was coming on to her. Unbeknownst to them both, Terry was listening in and decided to tell Paige, the biggest gossip on the show. Although, when Terry asks if she should report it, Paige says this.
So what do we do, report it?
Hun, you can't report a rumor.
Paige can give good advice when she wants to. Paige texts her sidekick Hazel and spreads the rumor even more. Hazel then ups the ante by telling someone that Mr. Armstrong and Liberty were seen kissing outside.
Get this. Liberty and Armstrong were seen kissing outside. Yeah, they were in his car, kissing in front.
Sean overhears this and the rumor spreads even more as he tells Spinner. Spinner then tells Jimmy,
Dude, Liberty and Armstrong are doing it.
Then emails Ashley about it. And Ashley was the only one real enough to confront Liberty about it. Liberty denies it and is upset.
They think he's doing things to me?
Emma goes to Liberty and tells her that she will find out who started the rumor. So Emma goes on the hunt to find who started the rumor and lands on Terry. She chastises Terry for starting the rumor, but Terry bites back and tells Emma that Emma was the one who started the rumor because she was the one talking about it with Manny.
Tell you, but no. It was right here yesterday. You were talking to Manny about Liberty and Armstrong, remember? You started the rumor, Emma.
No, Miss Terry. Nobody was talking to you about it. Emma was having a private conversation with Manny and you decided to tell Paige. So in reality, Emma might have started the rumor, but you spread it. Mr. Armstrong is called out of his class with Liberty. Emma goes into the meeting and tells the principal, Mr. Radich, all about the rumor. Liberty is furious with Emma and admits that the note Mr. Armstrong gave her was about dyscalculia, a learning disability like dyslexia, but with numbers. Mr. Armstrong was just trying to help her. Liberty then tells Emma this.
To help?
No, Emma. Go back to saving rainforests and whales, because when it comes to helping people, you suck.
I mean, she's not wrong. Poor Mr. Armstrong though. In this episode, we see Sean and Emma go on their first date. Cute. Paige starts a cheerleading team called the Spirit Squad, and Manny wants to be a cheerleader. Meanwhile, Emma is hating on cheerleaders, acting like it's bringing down women all over the world and calls it sexist.
So are a lot of things that are just sexist and wrong.
Like, girl, calm down. Manny tells Emma she wants to join, and Emma shoots Manny down immediately.
I was just thinking cheerleading might be fun. Fun? You really want to become some pom-pom pumping robot? I'm surprised.
However, Manny shows Paige and the rest of the Spirit Squad what she can do. Child, all she did was 2 cartwheels and somebody's talking about how did she do that.
Well, I can't even do cartwheels, so let me not talk.
Emma is still hating, this time on Hazel and Paige.
Paige, Hazel, are you gonna do your colors together
She then says she might do an article for the school newspaper, The Grapevine, about the dangers of cheerleading. Manny tells Paige and Hazel this, and they decide to take Manny under their wing and try to get her to convince Emma not to write the story. Manny blows off Emma for Paige and Hazel, and Emma finds out. During a Spirit Squad practice, we see Emma standing in the doorway like Michael Myers. Emma loved standing and staring at people from a distance. Jeez. Emma decides to write the article, calling the cheerleaders bimbos. Emma and Manny have a confrontation in the bathroom. Manny says she just wants to be a cheerleader, that's all. And if being friends with Paige happens in the process of that, then it happens. Emma then tells Manny that Paige is not her friend.
Let's put a pin in that, Miss Nelson.
And Miss Manuela Santos utters one of her most beloved catchphrases.
She's just using you, Manny.
No, you're just jealous.
Jealous of that pretentious wannabe?
Paige and Hazel destroy the article and make Manny help them, with Manny only ripping up 1. When caught, Paige makes it seem like Hazel did it all on her own best friend child. Manny sees this for what it is, Paige being fake, and decides to stand up to Paige.
Manny, what is your damage?
You, Paige.
You better watch your mouth.
Or what, you'll spread lies about me? Deface my locker? Just try it.
Manny wasn't scared of no damn Paige, thus creating the feud between Manny and Paige that we will see from seasons to come. Honestly, this episode was really about internalized misogyny to me, because Emma thought being a feminist meant that she should condemn anything traditionally feminine, and that's not what feminism is actually about. Also, Manny put up with a lot from Emma. Like, Miss Girl just wanted to be a cheerleader. It's the last day of the school year, and Ashley and Toby's parents are allowing them to have only one friend over while they're out of town. Ashley invites Terry to come, and Paige is pressed. When Jimmy isn't pressed about it, Ashley feels a bit worried about it. Even though in episode 9, Coming of Age, she was annoyed with Jimmy hanging around her all the time.
Ashley, Miss Girl, what do you want?
She invites Paige anyway because Paige keeps harping about not being invited. Meanwhile, Emma is still upset about what happened with Sean.
Sean, leave him alone!
Emma, get out of here!
And Toby takes this opportunity to try and win Emma over. JT has the bright idea to invite Sean to Toby's house, promising that Emma will be there. Paige also invites Hazel to Ashley's house too, and child, look at Hazel playing with Paige's hair. Like, she's just Paige's sidekick. I hate it. JT reveals to Sean and Toby that he got ecstasy from his cousin and wants to try it out. Sean is hesitant, and as you know, him being our resident bad boy means he knows about drugs. Sean takes the drugs, pretending that he's going to cut it for each of them. Sean then gives the ecstasy to Ashley to throw away. Paige comes into the kitchen to tell Ashley that the little get-together is getting boring, and tells Ashley to invite Jimmy over. And she also tells Ashley to stop being boring and to break a rule for once.
Hun, you just need to live a little. Because you're pretty cool when you do.
Ashley calls Jimmy and asks him to come over while holding the ecstasy in her hands. Ashley's dumb ass then takes the E. Meanwhile, JT and Toby are acting like fools, thinking that they took the E. Sean's up there laughing at them.
This is ecstasy.
Ashley is full on high, screaming at any chance she can get while she and the girls watch a movie. Our grade 7 girls, Manny, Emma and Liberty, arrive at Toby and Ashley's house, and Ashley greets them high as a kite. Ashley's mini obsession with Liberty during her ecstasy high was hilarious. Jimmy, Spinner and 2 other guys arrive and why did Spinner bring a watermelon? When Emma sees Sean, she immediately wants to leave, leaving Sean upset. Ashley walks out of the bathroom and sees Sean crying and tries to comfort him by taking him into another room. Ashley says she knows what Sean is going through with Emma and starts talking about how everyone, including Jimmy, sees her as a boring girl. Ashley kisses Sean and they start making out. Jimmy goes looking for Ashley and finds out that Sean is in the house. Jimmy finds Sean leaving the room where he and Ashley just were, and Ashley comes out right behind him with messy hair and her bra strap dangling, talking about Jimmy. Hey, girl.
Jimmy. Oh.
Jimmy takes one look at her and knows what went down, so he goes downstairs, and Ashley goes down right after him. Jimmy starts asking Spinner where Sean is. Like, sir, you still trying to get your ass beat again? Ashley starts talking nonsense to Jimmy, talking about how she saw the real her when she was making out with Sean. Everyone at the party is now watching them. Jimmy tries to leave and Ashley snaps at him, telling him that she should have broken up with him on his birthday like she planned. Then Miss Nobody Asked You, Paige Michaelchuk, butts in and tells Ashley to stop being a hag. Ashley responds and tells Paige that she's the hag in her looks and her personality. Paige is offended and leaves. I mean, Miss Girl, you started the hag name calling first. Ashley then tells Jimmy that he doesn't have what Sean has and that he is not enough for her. Jimmy leaves too after that crazy comment. Everyone else starts to leave too. The next morning, Spinner comes over to give Ashley the stuff that Jimmy doesn't want from her anymore. Spinner also tells Ashley not to call Jimmy, and Paige isn't even speaking to her either. Ashley breaks down and the only people by her side are Terry the sweetheart and Toby. And that's how season 1 of The Next Generation ends, with Ashley taking E, acting a fool and losing all her friends except for Terry. This season has Degrassi Community School transitioning into a full-fledged high school, encompassing grades 7 to 12. We now see our characters go from grades 7 to 8 and grades 8 to 9. Let's do a quick rapid fire of our characters, starting with the new grade 8s. Emma is still headstrong and an environmentalist. Manny is still Emma's adorable best friend, who finally gets some attention from boys when new boy Craig arrives. JT is still the lovable class clown. Toby is still a geek. Sean is still rough around the edges. And Liberty is still nerdy.
This girl, she likes to party all the time.
Head on in.
For the grade 9s, Paige is still the mean popular girl. Her and Spinner are now dating. Jimmy is still a basketball jock. Spinner is still a himbo.
You move like a wounded polar bear, buddy. I'm sorry. I can't dance because I'm white. What? That's not what I'm saying.
Yes, it is. Polar bears are white, I'm white, and you're racist.
Ashley is entering her goth era after losing all her friends. Terry is still insecure about her weight. And Hazel, while still being Paige's sidekick, finally gets a spotlight episode. There are also some new additions for the grade 9s. Craig Manning is a new boy at school who has an abusive father. Marco Del Rossi is a kid who is battling his sexuality. And Ellie Nash is a goth girl who befriends Ashley. We also see Spinner's sister, who's in grade 7, who ends up dating Toby. The first 2 episodes of the second season throw us into a whirlwind of pain. Craig Manning is a new addition to the cast as he joins the grade 9s. We first see him taking pictures of Joey Jeremiah's daughter, Angie. Okay. However, it is revealed to us that Craig is Joey's stepson and Angie's half-brother.
Craig is Joey's stepson. Angela's half-brother.
Oh, hi.
It's also revealed to us that Craig's douchebag of a father not only prevents Craig from seeing Angie, but he also beats Craig for the most minuscule things. Craig's father essentially has never forgiven Craig's deceased mother for leaving him for Joey and takes it out on Craig. When Craig arrives at Degrassi, he's quickly seen as cute by passing girls, except for Paige.
Cute? Very.
Try to range.
He also quickly makes friends with Sean. Since his father forbids him from seeing Angie, Craig visits Angie during her playground time. When Angie and Joey are visiting Angie and Craig's deceased mother, Joey ends up seeing him. Joey tells Craig's father,
Craig wants to see Angela, and I know he has been seeing her. Just found out myself. He's been doing it on his own time. You and I may hate each other, but do our kids have to?
And Craig's father goes into Craig's dark room where he has pictures of Angie and beats Craig. Craig continues to see Angie from the help of Emma, who is babysitting Angie. Angie sees the purple bruises that Craig got from his dad beating him, and Craig tells her that a monster did it to him.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
Craig then has the bright idea to run away with Angie, suggesting that they go to British Columbia because they had previously gone there together with their mother. Joey tracks them down, and when he finds out that Craig wanted to go to British Columbia with Angie, he tells Craig that he should listen to his father and stay away from Angie. Joey then calls Craig's dad again to tell him what happened, and Craig, knowing what his father would do to him, runs out of the house to meet Sean. While Craig and Sean are chilling on the train tracks, a train starts to appear in the distance. Sean leaves the tracks, but Craig stays on the tracks watching the train come towards him. Luckily for Craig, Sean then pulls Craig away just in time. Craig just laughs hysterically. Meanwhile, Angie tells Joey about Craig's huge purple bruises, and Sean tells Joey that he thinks that Craig's father is hurting him. This is why you listen to kids. Joey and Sean go to find Craig, and Joey confronts Craig about his father abusing him. This scene was so well acted and heartbreaking.
He hits you, doesn't he?
Joey decides to take Craig in, and when Craig leaves his father, his douchebag father tells him that he's leaving him just like his mother did.
You're breaking my heart, you know that, just like your mother.
Like, sir, maybe don't be an abusive a-hole. Once again, this season 2 opener shows how Degrassi is not afraid to talk about abuse. And Jake Epstein ate down. His acting was amazing. Degrassi really implemented that your actions have consequences, as Ashley still hasn't lived down her ecstasy trip, as Paige and Jimmy are still freezing her out. However, Jimmy still has feelings for Ashley, and they start talking again.
Yeah, I missed you, Ash. I missed you a lot.
And I swear, Spinner was Ashley's #1 hater. He never liked her. Ultimately, Paige is on board with being Ashley's friend again too. But things start to take a turn when Sean asks Ashley out on a date and she said yes. Like, Miss Girl, why would you agree to go on a date with the guy that you had an affair with when you're trying to get back in the good graces of your ex-boyfriend and your friends? Dumb. Terry tells her that she doesn't think it's a good idea, and once again, Ashley's ass hits her back with Terry never having a boyfriend.
Maybe you should just keep a low profile for a bit. One day when a guy likes you, you'll understand how this works.
The next day is picture day at school, and Ashley's look is really cute. I love her top and her hair. Paige finds out from Terry that Ashley's planning on going out with Sean and tells Jimmy. When Ashley comes up to Jimmy to say hi to him, his response is this.
Don't talk to me, you slut.
Ciao, now we know the girl that Drake is always singing about. Jimmy calls out Ashley for two-timing him with Sean during her ecstasy high and breaks off the thing that they had going on. Ashley is hurt, but ciao, it's not over for Ashley. Terry also chooses to hang out with Paige and Hazel over Ashley, and now Ashley doesn't even have Terry as a friend. Later this season, we see Ashley go all depressed goth girl and cut her hair. Her and Jimmy do get back together, but he can't get past her new look and she breaks up with him. She also befriends new goth girl Ellie and starts a romance with Craig. So I guess things are looking up for Ashley. For now anyway. Paige and Spinner are essentially dating, but Paige has her eyes set on an older guy named Dean. She finds out that he'll be at a party and lies to Spinner about one of her family members being sick, so she and Hazel can go to the party and she can see Dean. Paige is at the party and spots Dean, and they go upstairs together, and Paige assumes that they would just be making out. However, something terrible happens as Dean forces himself on Paige as she continuously says no. After the party, we see the aftermath of how Paige is feeling, and the writer showed the complexity of feelings a person has when they are SA'd. At first, Paige boasts to Hazel about having sex with Dean.
Paige, you did it. You did it with Dean.
But as the episode goes on, Paige starts to realize that she was taken advantage of, and the emphasis of her saying no. She breaks down and tells Hazel that she said no.
He just pushed me down harder. He didn't stop. He wouldn't stop.
Paige, honey, if you said no, that's rape.
About what I did.
You didn't do anything.
So I didn't dress like a slut. I didn't drink. I didn't come on to him in front of the whole party.
Paige,
I guess I didn't ask him to go upstairs either.
you said no.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
In part 2, Paige is still reeling from her assault and finds a distraction in a girl band contest and reunites the band PMS, a band that her, Terry and Ashley were a part of in season 1, with Hazel as the new addition.
Hazel, must you?
The same right to be as free, happy as everybody. 'Cause everyone loves you.
Paige even asks Ashley to rejoin as a songwriter because Ashley's poem that she read out in class was something real and not superficial.
It happens to other people. You say how sad. You say poor thing.
However, when Ashley uses a song about SA for them to perform, Paige refuses to use the song. Paige tells Ashley that she has no idea what SA is like, and this dumb girl Ashley says,
I'm allowed to imagine. No, you're not.
like, no, Miss Ma'am, no you aren't. Paige then breaks down and tells Ashley what happened to her. Because of this, Ashley agrees not to use the lyrics about SA. However, once PMS are on stage, this douchebag Dean decides to come to the show and sit front row. Mortified, Paige decides to use the SA lyrics and Dean's predator ass leaves. By the end of the episode, Paige decides to see Miss Sauvé, the school counselor, so she can come to terms with what happened to her. This is one of Degrassi's most powerful episodes about SA. Paige's complex emotions about being assaulted were something that a lot of women go through. The denial to acceptance pipeline was very effective on the writer's part. Toby joins the wrestling team after being sick of everyone overlooking him and praising Sean, especially Emma. Toby needs to get over Emma, child. It is not going to happen, not with bad boy Sean around. However, when he is put in Sean's weight class, he goes on a diet to prevent himself from going up against Sean or anybody else from that weight class. This diet quickly turns to him not eating and taking laxatives, then transitions to him making himself throw up to lose weight. Ashley realizes that Toby has stopped eating, but Toby insists that he is. Toby eventually passes out at the meet and comes to terms with what he was doing was dangerous. This episode is significant as it is the first episode in the Degrassi franchise to showcase a male suffering with an eating disorder. Another illustration of Degrassi pushing the boundaries of what is shown on TV, because usually when it comes to eating disorders on TV, they are often focused on women. This is the first Hazel-centric episode, and it's not about her being Paige's sidekick. The episode begins with Hazel, Paige and Terry making fun of a Muslim girl named Fariza's outfit.
Do you think there may be bald under there?
This is so unlike Terry. Like, oh, now that you're exclusively hanging out with Paige, you want to be mean now too, huh? Hazel goes too far and calls Fariza's outfit terrorist chic.
You're under arrest. Crime, terrorist chic.
It's multicultural day at school, and I love this line from Spinner.
Last night, I asked my mom what my culture was. She pointed to the globe, said it was from Earth.
Paige assumes that Hazel is Jamaican, and Hazel goes along with it. Hazel goes over to get some jerk chicken from her local Jamaican shop for Multicultural Day, and even the chef points out how Hazel isn't Jamaican. But Hazel brushes it off by telling him that she just wants to show her classmates Jamaican food. At school, Fariza sees that Hazel is claiming to be Jamaican and clocks Hazel's tea as she says that Hazel's surname, Aden, isn't Jamaican.
Just Aden, not really a common name. Maybe in Somalia. Sort of looks Somalian too.
Really? Well, why don't you mind your own business, Fariza, before Jamaica declares war on Iraq?
As the day goes on, we find out that Fariza's stand is destroyed, with the suspicion being that it was done as a hate crime. The writers then had the grade 8s and 9s do a rapid fire discussion about discrimination. Mind you, this episode aired in 2002, a year after 9/11, and discrimination against Muslims was at an all-time high. Hazel is obviously a suspect, but it turns out it was students in grade 10 who destroyed the stand. Hazel, feeling guilty about not only treating Fariza terribly, but also hiding her true identity, admits to the class that she is actually Somali and a Muslim and was hiding her true identity to protect herself.
At my last school, something happened to me. I got cornered by these girls. One of them held me. The other hit me. Call me a terrorist.
This is Hazel's only standout episode, but I think it was a really good one about discrimination that Muslims faced during the aftermath of 9/11. Marco is another new addition to the grade 9s. We actually first meet him as a break dancer in episode 3, something that never comes up ever again. Marco realizes that he has an attraction to other boys, and he tries to fight those feelings when Dr. Lizzie comes to talk about sexual orientation.
Okay, so gay guys had to seeing another guy do it for them.
The same way as seeing an attractive female does it for straight guys.
He ultimately tells Ellie, who has a crush on him, that he's gay, and she essentially becomes his beard while still having feelings for him. Great idea, guys. We see Paige in a counselling session with Miss Sauvé, reading an unsent letter that she wrote for Dean. Paige has been getting better with her recovery and has finally stopped blaming herself for the assault. She even tells Miss Sauvé that she doesn't need counselling anymore, but she agrees when Miss Sauvé insists, but still comments that she's over what happened. Paige is cheery today and even gives JT the time of day, who has a big crush on her. However, Paige's day turns sour when Spinner reveals to Paige that Dean, her assaulter, will be playing against Degrassi with his school Bardell. Paige and Hazel are horrified, and Paige goes back to Miss Sauvé asking questions about pressing charges. Miss Sauvé says that it would be hard because there is no physical evidence. When Paige comes face to face with Dean as he and his school arrive at Degrassi, he has the nerve to call her by his nickname for her.
Spirit, hold up.
And makes fun of her for trying to embarrass him at the girl band concert with PMS.
So what's in today's plan? A little rah-rah cheering or another serenade from your little girl band?
He even goes as far to say that they had fun during her assault. Paige snaps at him, reiterating that she said no, but he doesn't show an ounce of emotion.
Lighten up. We had fun.
That's the North Park bus driver. Thank you.
Fun? You think what you did to me was fun?
During the tournament, Dean harasses Paige once more, which leads her to storm off. Spinner sees this and asks Hazel if something is still going on with Paige and Dean. Hazel counterpoints him and tells him, what if that's not what happened? What if she said no? Spinner disagrees and says the only person Paige said no to was him. Later on, Paige sees Dean talking to Manny. Like, sir, she's in grade 8. But like, why am I trying to put logic to his perverted self anyway? Paige goes up to Manny to warn her about Dean. But in good old Manuela fashion, she says this.
I know you guys had a date, and I know he never called you back, and I know you're jealous. Get over it.
Like, I love my girl Manny, but not everything is jealousy, Miss Girl. She's trying to help you. Sweet JT notices that Paige isn't cheering at the game and goes to check on her. She admits to him what happened and JT is furious. JT immediately goes back to the tournament and with all the little strength that poor JT has, tries to beat Dean's ass, even calling him a rapist.
Too much for you, Mr. Rapist?
Once Dean hears JT call him a rapist, he starts to fight back. Spinner, now sensing something is really wrong, confronts Paige and asks her if Dean took things too far, and Paige admits that he did.
Something happened to you.
I just got what I asked for, right?
He took it too far, like Hazel said, right?
Spinner then storms off to find Dean and confronts him. Paige breaks it up and officially tells Dean that she's coming for him. For real this time.
Get ready, because I am coming after you this time. Not like Spinner or the mascot. For real.
Paige then tells Miss Sauvé that she's ready to press charges. Also, Paige and Spinner reconcile and Spinner and Paige decide to go to the year-end dance together. So Spinner and Paige are officially dating. Another gripping episode from Paige. Honestly, when you first meet Paige, you think you won't get this much complexity and nuance from her, but her character has been written amazingly this season. She may be shallow and mean sometimes, but I don't know how to put this without it sounding weird. But this storyline really humanized Paige from just a typical mean girl stereotype. We see the return of douchebag Mr. Manning, aka Craig's father, when Craig's father returns to make amends with his son. He visits Craig at school and says he wants to see how he's doing and meet his friends. Ashley is welcoming and introduces herself, while Sean is standoffish. And can I just say, I wish the writers had Craig and Sean remain friends, because after this season, you won't see them being buddy-buddy again. Craig's dad even offers Craig to come to dinner with him. Sean is disgusted by the idea, asking Craig if he will actually go. Craig, who is shocked, doesn't answer. However, Craig visits his dad at work and eventually accepts his dad's offer for dinner. Craig also finds out that his dad has been lying to his co-workers, telling them that Craig was at boarding school to cover up the fact that Craig is living with Joey. At dinner, Craig's father tells him that Craig living with Joey has been a wake-up call for him and that he's attending anger management therapy. Craig's father even offers to help Craig study. Craig doesn't tell Joey that he's been seeing his father. The following day, Craig goes over to his dad's house to study. When Craig forgets to use a coaster, he envisions his father beating him and he flinches, clearly still traumatized by his father. Craig and his father have another dinner and things escalate when Craig's father asks Craig to move back in with him and claims that Joey's house is unstable. Oh, and getting beat by your dad is real stable, Mr. Manning. When Craig refuses to move back, Craig's father storms out of the restaurant, with Craig following him. When Craig's father insults Ashley, Craig pushes him, and his dad turns around and slaps Craig.
Craig, I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again.
Craig's dad then gets in his car and sloppily drives away. Craig comes back home to Joey and Joey finds out that he saw his father. Joey is furious and wants to call the police, but Craig stops him, claiming that he will call children's services tomorrow so he will never see his dad again.
I hate him, Joey. I hate him so much.
However, the next day, the police show up at the door and Joey informs Craig that his dad got into a car accident and died. Craig feels a whirlwind of emotions after this. At the funeral, one of his father's colleagues calls his father a devoted father. Craig starts laughing hysterically and Joe has to escort him out of the church. When outside, Craig admits that he's glad his father's dead.
I'm happy, Joey. I'm really happy. Because he's dead.
He even comes back to school after the accident and the funeral, which surprises everyone. Craig acts as though he is fine and that he's glad his father is dead. But we see the real complex emotions that Craig has over his dad dying when he wins Best Couple at the end of year dance with Ashley. He imagines one of the teachers as his father and rushes to him to show him that he's won. Craig then breaks down in front of everybody at the dance and storms off. In a rare one-on-one, we see Terry go after him and they have a heart-to-heart about losing parents, as Terry lost her mother.
I wanted him gone. So why am I crying now that he is?
'Cause you love him.
Even Mr. Radich sees them and leaves. These 2 episodes showed the complexity of Craig's emotions. Although his father was terrible and an abusive person, and Craig hated him, Craig is still a kid and somewhat wanted his father's love and affection. Again, Jacob Epstein's acting was amazing. Truly the best actor on the show. Emma and Manny both believe that Craig has a crush on Emma.
So obvious Craig likes you.
There's an 80s themed dance at school and the grade 8s have theirs during the day, while the grade 9s have theirs at night. Craig sneaks Emma and Manny in and Emma is looking just like her mama. On the dance floor, Craig approaches Manny and Emma and asks Manny to dance. Emma is upset, but hey, it's the start of Cranny, everybody. A few episodes later, Manny and Craig go on their first date. The writers cleverly have us see Manny and Craig's different perspectives of the date. Manny perceives the date as romantic and perfect.
So you're girlfriend-boyfriend now?
It's official? You talked to Craig?
No, but I don't think I have to. I just know. Guess that's what falling in love is all about.
Whereas Craig, well, all Craig saw was how young Manny was.
It's so cute. His name is Worsy Horse. I've already got Piggy Pig and Lemmy Lamb.
And how she reminds him of his little sister Angie.
She reminds me of my 5-year-old half-sister.
Which was a nod to the fact that Manny and Angie's actresses, Cassie Steele and Alexa Steele, are sisters in real life.
That's my sister, right there. You might recognize her. She plays Angela on Degrassi.
Manny becomes clingy and possessive over Craig. And when Craig doesn't give her the same energy, she pushes it off as him just being moody. Miss Girl. I swear Manny is such a hopeless romantic. I mean, we kind of see why. These past 2 seasons, the writers have sprinkled in mentions of Manny's father being really strict.
We can watch it at my place. My dad won't let me go out on a school night.
Guys, this is gonna be great. A real party. But if my dad finds out I'm here, I'm gonna be grounded until my wedding day.
I feel like she's trying to look for love outside of her family desperately. After Manny makes her fall out of herself when she doesn't know what GMOs are with Ashley and Craig, and redecorates Craig's locker, she tells him that he should not hang out with Ashley anymore.
I don't think you should talk to her anymore.
Craig has had enough of Manny's clinginess and possessiveness and breaks up with her. But don't you worry, Manny, you'll get your Craig back. Emma's mother, Spike, and Emma's teacher, Snake, start dating in episode 3 and get married in the 2-parter White Wedding. They almost don't get married after Emma's nosy self finds out that her mother is pregnant. Her mother contemplates not having the baby because she believes Snake doesn't want a baby right now. So Emma goes and tells Snake that her mother is pregnant anyway, and Snake is mortified that Spike didn't tell him.
Why you? Why not your mom?
Why not your mom?
Even Manny snaps at Emma for telling Snake.
Stop being a baby. Just get ready for the wedding.
Manny, mind your own business.
Oh, that's funny. Didn't I tell you the same thing last night?
Like, girl, stay in your place. After Manny invites Sean to Spike and Snake's wedding, Sean and Emma get back together. See how Manny is such a great friend to Emma? Yeah, let's put a pin on that. Season 1 and 2 are more middle school vibes. Sure, there are hard-hitting episodes like Craig's abuse and Paige's assault, but the peak of TNG is just on the horizon. Season 3, to me, is the first peak of TNG, where adolescence turns into real teenagehood, and we finally get to see the characters grow up. Well, start to grow up. This season onwards, we'll be doing things a little bit differently. Instead of talking about prominent episodes, we'll be talking about prominent story arcs. As always, let's see how the characters are characterized this season. For the grade 9s, Emma is still an environmentalist and a human rights activist who is dealing with Snake having cancer. Manny has the biggest transformation as she changes her image to seem more sexier, and in doing so makes questionable decisions. JT is now a popular class clown. Toby is still JT's nerdy best friend. Liberty is still an overachiever and still has a crush on JT. Sean is back to his bad boy ways and gets involved with the wrong crowd. And there's a new addition of a boy named Chris, who is Emma's new love interest. For the grade 10s, Paige is still a popular mean girl and is still dating Spinner. Jimmy is still a basketball jock. Spinner is still a class clown dating Paige. Ashley is now dating Craig. Terry is still insecure and starts dating new boy Rick. Hazel is still Paige's sidekick. Craig is dating Ashley and forms the band Downtown Sasquatch with Jimmy, Spinner and Marco. Marco is becoming more open about his sexuality. Ellie is still a goth girl, but this time with a harmful secret. Rick is the new boy who's dating Terry, who shows an abusive side. Alex is a new addition and the girlfriend of Jay Hogarth. And for the grade 11s, there's a new addition, Jay Hogarth, the resident Degrassi devil. Disclaimer, season 3 is my #1 favorite season out of all 14 seasons of The Next Generation. And we can't talk about season 3 without talking about the most iconic thing to come out of this season. Disclaimer, season 3 is one of my favorite seasons of all 14 seasons. And we can't talk about season 3 without talking about the biggest thing to come out of that season. Manny has usually just been seen as Emma's adorable best friend, and she hasn't had much prominent storylines the last 2 seasons, except for her cheerleading storyline in season 1 and her dating Craig for 1 episode in season 2. This season, after developing a crush on a grade 10 boy, Sully, Manny is sick of being adorable and being too young. She wants to be seen as hot, so she decides to change her look.
I don't want to be adorable. Bunnies and puppies are adorable.
First, it's tame. She wears a tracksuit type outfit with a cropped top.
I want to be hot. Not cute, not adorable. Hot.
JT sees her in this new look and develops a crush on her. Manny likes the attention that JT is giving her because it means that her new look is working, but she still isn't into JT. She decides that her look is too tame and decides to wear something to school that creates one of the most iconic moments in Degrassi history. Miss Manuela Santos comes to school in a cropped blue blouse with her bra strap showing, low-rise jeans and a blue thong showing. This time, all the guys at school begin noticing her, even Sully, who upstages JT for Manny's attention. Manny ultimately comes to school without wearing any underwear after Miss Radich tells her it isn't appropriate to have her underwear showing. While she's wearing no underwear, she bends down in class and all the guys try to take a peek. Chow, even Liberty, but JT saves her from flashing everyone. JT then has the courage to ask Manny out, but she has already made plans with Sully, who shoos JT away.
Something. See this, JT? Bye-bye.
Actually, JT, I'm busy tomorrow. I'm sorry.
A lot of people say that Manny did JT wrong, but she had no obligation to date him just because he liked her. I mean, she was clearly interested in Sully in the first place. That's why she changed her look. And JT was the same as Sully because he was only interested in Manny after she changed her look. Sully's weird ass was definitely into her being exotic and Filipina, calling her Manuela and everything.
What do you like better, Manny or Manuela? Sully likes Manuela. He says it's exotic. Manuela Santos.
Manuel? Something wrong?
Weirdo. Manny also burns a bridge with her best friend Emma when Emma tells her that she did JT wrong and is dressing like an idiot.
Just because I'm dressing like...
You're dressing like an idiot.
Oh, but Emma, when she was showing off her thong, you said she looked great.
Are you sure this isn't too much? You look great. You know I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Manny then delivers one of her favorite lines again.
I'm just concerned.
Because it sounds more like you're jealous.
And her and Emma are on shaky grounds. This won't be the last of Manny's questionable decisions because the rise of Manny Santos also leads us into the next talking point. Craig and Ashley are having problems after Ashley is upset that Craig can't tell her that he loves her.
I don't think you feel the same way I do about us.
Look, it's hard for me, Ash.
I know. And that's why I think we should take a bit of a break.
Like, girl, maybe he can't because his sense of love is warped because his dad used to beat him. I don't know. Like, girl, give him a break. Craig eventually writes and performs a song for Ashley in the gym where he tells her he loves her. Manny, whose boyfriend Sully, is anything but romantic.
Sweetie, did you like the rose?
Oh, yeah. Great. Thanks.
Did you send one? Because I thought maybe Kendra made a mistake.
Here, pretend it's from me.
Craig sent his girlfriend 12.
And her crush on Craig redevelops. Ashley tells Craig that she's ready to have sex with him too. During Paige's surprise birthday party, Craig's dumb ass tells the one person he shouldn't that he and Ashley are going to have sex, Spinner.
Shut up. Yeah, believe it. Just a few hours.
Ashley finds out that Craig told Spinner, and Craig's ass says he told him because he was excited. Ashley breaks up with Craig.
You conned me into thinking that I wanted to have sex with you, and now...
Wait, I conned you into it?
With that stupid lie of a song.
That wasn't a lie?
Wrong. You don't know how to say it, Craig, because you don't really love me.
Manny goes to comfort Craig, and they go back to his place. Manny then compliments Craig on the song that he wrote for Ashley. Things escalate and Manny and Craig end up sleeping together. The next day, Manny is gushing over her night with Craig to Emma, but to her dismay, Ashley and Craig make up and get back together. Craig knows he done effed up. Manny is still determined to get Craig back as she invites him clubbing, claiming that there will be no strings attached. Okay, go. Emma also has her eyes set on new boy Chris after her breakup with Sean. And, Degrassi writers, why you got the black boy beatboxing all the time? So Manny gives Emma a bootylicious makeover so they can look good for the club. This episode is hilarious for the simple fact that the grade 10s are studying while the grade 9s are going out to the club. At the club, Emma finds out that Chris has a girlfriend and is turned off. But here comes Manuela Santos telling Emma to still go for it and gives her advice on how she got Craig.
It doesn't look like they're gonna last long, so here's your chance. You wait for the fight to end. Chris is hurt and needs a shoulder to cry on. There you are. Okay, that's totally evil. It may be evil, but it's effective.
Like, Manny was really wildin'. Emma listens to Manny at first, but backs out. Meanwhile, Craig comes to the club as Ashley's out of town with Ellie. Manny starts backing up her thang on Craig, and at first Craig tries to resist, but when Manny says she can keep a secret, Craig's horn dog self starts making out with Manny. When Emma backs out from essentially having an affair with Chris, she finds out that Manny has left her in the club. She takes a taxi home and finds Manny's trifling ass in her bed making out with Craig. And Emma chooses to sleep on the floor to avoid Craig and Manny's juices up all on her bed. The next day, Manny tries to apologize to Emma, but things turn sour quickly. Emma is disgusted when she finds out that Manny and Craig have hooked up before. And Manny tells Emma she thinks that Emma chickened out by not getting together with Chris, who has a girlfriend, mind you. Manny ultimately tells Emma that she doesn't want to be friends with a stuck-up prude princess. And Emma goes one step forward and says she doesn't want to be friends with the school slut.
You don't want to be friends.
Not with a stuck-up prude princess.
Good, because I don't want to be friends with the school slut.
And there you have it. The besties are once again at odds. Manny and Craig carry on secretly dating while Craig is still dating Ashley.
Spinner,
We'll talk about exchanging gifts tomorrow. Bye.
It's Christmas time at Degrassi, and you can tell Craig favored Manny over Ashley. Like when Manny was telling him that she was cold, he warmed her up by making out with her.
And I'm freezing. So you need to warm me up?
I can do that.
But when Ashley was cold, child, crickets.
I'm freezing.
Oh, do you want me to get you something hot to drink?
Manny puts her foot down with Craig and tells him that she wants him to break up with Ashley.
It's just... I love you, Craig, and I thought you felt the same way.
But I do. It's just...
Ashley, I know. And she might love you, but not as much as I do.
Craig's dumbass thinks that he can have his cake and eat it too. So he tells Manny he chooses her, but fails to break up with Ashley. More proof that Craig favored Manny over Ashley was when he bought Manny a new sweater and an ice skating bracelet for Christmas, which Ashley finds, thinking that he got it for her. This is what ultimately gets Craig caught, as Manny, still thinking that Craig broke up with Ashley, is doing Ashley's makeup for the Christmas showcase, and Ashley notices the ice skating bracelet and the other gifts she thought Craig got for her. Ashley tells Manny that her and Craig are still together.
Moving on, we're still together.
When it's time for Craig and Ashley to perform their song, Ashley slaps Craig and breaks up with him.
Manny Santos.
How could you?
Manny also breaks up with Craig because he lied to her. So Craig's dumbass is left with no girl and no mistress. However, this is not the end of the drama. As weeks go by, Manny starts to feel ill and she hasn't had her period in weeks.
Really?
Well, yeah, I've been training really hard.
You were sick earlier, and are you sure it's not something else?
Manny checks her journal and finds out that she's 10 weeks late. 10! Baby girl, you're at least 1.5 months pregnant. Oh my days. Manny talks to Paige in the bathroom and asks her if you can tell when a guy uses a condom. Oh, Manny, so young and so dumb. Paige tries to reassure her that Craig is the semi-responsible type and gives these sage words of advice.
Next time, ask questions first, get naked later.
She also promises not to tell anyone. Put a pin in that. Manny ultimately goes to Spike, Emma's mother, to take a pregnancy test because Emma's mother had Emma at 14 too. The test comes back positive and Manny says she can't tell her parents because her parents will send her to a convent back in the Philippines. Manny ultimately tells Craig that she's pregnant and Craig is weirdly excited about it and says they should keep the baby.
Then what if we had it? We could be a little family.
So Craig and Manny, the two bimbos, decide to keep the baby and Craig feels like he can finally have a family of his own. I mean, he's an orphan who lives with his stepdad and half-sister, so I mean, it's kinda understandable why he feels that way.
You've got a family. All right. I stay at some guy's house. But Manny and the baby, they're mine. They're for me.
Ashley finds out that Craig and Manny are back together and Paige the gossip tells Ashley that she thinks that Craig got Manny pregnant.
Promise you won't tell anyone, okay?
Of course not.
In the canteen, Craig and Manny are still being bimbos reading a baby name book publicly. Ashley walks up to them and grabs the book. Mortified, she decides to tell the whole canteen that Manny's pregnant.
These two idiots are pregnant. That's right, because it's way too difficult to use a condom.
See, for years I used to hate Ashley for outing Craig and Manny, but now that I'm older, as much as I love Manny, I don't fault Ashley at all because Manny and Craig did Ashley so wrong. I don't fault her for outing them to the whole school. Emma then takes Manny under her wing and gets her and Craig to babysit her baby brother. But Manny and Craig fail miserably. Manny begins to have doubts about keeping the baby, but she does get up the courage to tell her mother,
Mom, I'm pregnant.
who was surprisingly not as angry as Manny thought she would be. Manny goes to Emma and tells her that her mum is going to drive her to get a termination. And Emma, being Emma, is furious with Manny.
I wouldn't want to give a baby some crappy life with a mom who isn't ready.
Yeah, well, at least it would have a life.
I mean, I kind of get where Emma's mindset is with this because her mother was pregnant at 14 too, and if her mother had had an abortion, she wouldn't be here. But girl, be supportive of your best friend. Manny stays 10 toes down on her decision, so she tells Craig, and Craig is heartbroken.
Manny, stop! No, I won't let you!
Please!
Feeling his chance at his own family slipping away, Emma jumps into the conversation and backs Manny up, even though she doesn't agree with her decision.
I agree with you, okay? If she was just some stranger, I would be furious with her, but she's my friend, and it's her choice.
It's my baby.
And Manny's body, what about her?
I can't.
Manny ultimately has the abortion and she and Craig break up for the 3rd time. When Manny comes back to school after her abortion, she is labeled as easy and fast, which makes her insecure.
Way better choice if you're looking to get. Gotta figure Manny with her history. They don't, cause Paige isn't a slut and she doesn't go at it with other people's boyfriends.
JT, however, doesn't see her this way and takes her under his wing, and they begin dating by the end of the season. I personally think Manny only dated JT because he was the only guy that was still interested in her and giving her grace after what happened with Ashley and Craig and the termination. Meanwhile, Craig tries to get Ashley's forgiveness, and Ashley doesn't hold back with her petty comments, and I can't blame her.
Ash, I swear if you play that song in the competition, I'll
Have sex with more grade 9s?
If you weren't such a prude, I'd never have been with Manny.
Oh, but I thought you loved her.
Oh, you know what?
However, Craig again tries to make her up to Ashley during a Battle of the Bands competition and writes a song for her, apologizing for what he did to her. And it works. Girl, so Manny's reputation is in the gutter and Mr. Craig Manning still gets to be a big stud on campus. Like Manny said,
He was the one who was cheating on his girlfriend, okay? But no one ever talks about that, do they?
Marco is still dealing with his sexuality and Ellie ultimately quits being his beard. Marco develops a crush on Paige's gay older brother Dylan. Me and the homies hate Dylan, okay? When Spinner finds out Ellie and Marco have broken up, he tries to set Marco up with Hazel. Spinner was honestly so persistent with who Marco was dating to the point where it was weird.
So you never told me why you and Ellie split?
Carefully detailed notes.
Just wasn't working.
Coming around if you have any
She wouldn't put
questions.
out?
On a double date with Paige, Spinner, Hazel and Marco, Marco can't handle it anymore, especially when Ellie comes into the dot and gives Marco the "not you looking for another beard" look. So Marco makes an excuse about needing to help his mother with her pasta sauce.
My mom's making marinara sauce and I always help her.
Spinner chases after Marco and tells him to come back, and tells him that choosing his mother's pasta sauce over Hazel doesn't make sense.
Degrassi's coolest girls for your mom's pasta sauce?
Marco finally admits to Spinner that he's gay. Spinner walks away from him in disgust.
Because, man. Because why? Because I'm gay.
Fun fact, the actors recreated the scene years later with the roles reversed.
Obviously I'm a moron and don't
Because!
get it. Because what?
Because I'm gay!
Spinner becomes uncomfortable with Marco and even writes something on the bathroom wall about Marco being gay.
What are you gonna write next? Something about me being black?
Dylan has a hockey game going on. And while Marco is walking to the game, he passes the gay district, where he encounters homophobes who jump him. Jimmy, being the amazing friend that he is, arrives after the police come to comfort him. Eventually, after backhanded comments and the uncomfortableness that Spinner feels, Spinner ends up becoming comfortable with Marco's sexuality.
I just want to say thanks. For, well, I guess for everything.
Yeah, don't get mushy.
Terry hates the fact that she's never had a boyfriend, but this soon changes when she meets a seemingly charming boy named Rick Murray, who began leaving roses in her locker and they begin dating. In the episode Never Gonna Give You Up, Terry is set to play the leading role in Marco's play. Jimmy, as director, chooses her to play the leading role. Rick starts to show some jealousy when he sees Jimmy and Terry hug. Rick's weirdness is already getting on Jimmy's nerve when Rick tells Jimmy he can essentially teach Jimmy how to direct a play.
All right. Who knows, I might even teach Jim a few tricks of the trade.
When Rick asks Terry how she feels about Jimmy and she says that she likes him, Rick reacts weirdly before Terry tells him not in that way. The jealousy meter is picking up. Rick ends up giving Terry terrible stage advice, which he thinks is great advice, and Terry gets laughed at on stage.
Yes, son. Mama is here. Mama is here, Ray. We'll always be here.
As Terry and Rick are walking home, Terry is upset about the play and tells Rick that he embarrassed her and that she shouldn't have listened to him. Rick snaps and grips her wrist tight, causing a bruise. The next day, Rick gifts Terry flowers, and unfortunately, she accepts them and him. Hazel, Paige, and Terry are in the girls' bathroom and discuss having a girls' night. Terry makes a comment about having to check in with Rick, but Paige brushes it off, claiming that Terry has Rick wrapped around her fingers because of the flowers. However, Hazel notices Terry's bruise on her wrist and questions her about it. Terry gives her an excuse, but we can see that Hazel isn't buying it. Terry tells Rick that she's having a girls' night with Paige and Hazel, and he is in full abusive mode, questioning her why she wants a girls' night, asking her if she's going to pick up guys with Paige and Hazel.
So you can pick up guys?
No.
Then why can't I come? Explain it to me, because it doesn't make sense.
Terry snaps and tells Rick that he's suffocating her, and he slaps her, leaving a cut on her lip. During the girls' night, Hazel presses Terry and asks her if her and Rick ever fight. When Terry denies it, Hazel points out the cut on Terry's lips and her bruise, but Terry gets angry and leaves. The following day, while walking home together, Rick apologizes for slapping her and then has all the audacity in the world to tell Terry that she can only see Hazel and Paige at school. Terry disagrees and Rick snaps again and pushes her against the wall. Terry once and for all breaks up with him.
That was the last time you ever touched me.
However, several episodes later, in the episode Don't Dream It's Over, Terry and Rick get back together after being paired during class. All Terry's friends, especially Jimmy and Paige, are angry about it and try to protect her from him, but Terry insists that she's fine. Jimmy was Rick's #1 hater. He was riding for Terry. During a group hangout, the group allow Rick to come along because they do not want Terry to be alone with him.
If we leave him behind, guaranteed we leave her behind too.
Without any of us to look out for her.
And then it's open season for Rick again.
When Paige tries to talk Terry out of dating Rick, Rick overhears and snaps at Paige. Him and Paige begin to argue and Rick storms off. Terry snaps at Paige and Paige tells Terry if she's such a bad friend, then go after Rick. Terry does and goes to try and find Rick. When Terry finds Rick, she tells him to come back and join the group, telling him that Paige is just being Paige. But this angers Rick, thinking that Terry means that Paige can just treat him like that. Terry continues to try and calm Rick down, but he holds her by her shoulders, shaking her, telling her she's not going back to Paige. He shakes her so hard that she falls and hits her head on a rock. Spinner and Paige go looking for Terry, finding her bleeding from the back of her head. Terry ends up in a coma for some time. She eventually wakes up, and the last time we ever see Terry is in the episode I Want Candy, and she transfers to a new school. This arc was heartbreaking to watch Terry go through because all she wanted was a boyfriend, and when she finally got her own boyfriend, she really tried to see the best in Rick, but Rick was a piece of crap. This storyline was not the first teen domestic abuse storyline in Degrassi, but it was still powerful and a guide for teens to notice the signs of an abusive relationship. Emma's mom is heavily pregnant and ready to give birth any day now. Emma becomes triggered about her biological father after being mistaken as Snake's daughter at school.
I mean, just because Mr. Simpson married my mom doesn't mean I automatically took his name. She didn't even do that. Hello, feminism?
She then, with the help of Craig, sets out to find her real father. Emma thinks that her father is a doctor, as the last time she saw him was in a hospital when she was 3.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And I'm Dr. McKay. How may I help?
When Craig and Emma find her father, Shane, they find out he is mentally disabled. After falling or jumping off a bridge during the original Degrassi Junior High series, Shane landed on his head, causing permanent brain damage. His parents placed him in a home. Emma is furious at her mother for lying to her and letting her believe that her father was a doctor. And Snake snaps at Emma too. And Emma snaps back at him and tells him that he can't talk to her like that because he isn't her father.
Emma, sit.
You don't talk to me like that. You're not my dad.
But Emma, Miss Girl, you thought your father was a doctor at 17 when you were 3? Come on, connect the dots. When Emma's mother is home alone, Shane, who got their home address from Emma, escapes from the home and holds Emma's mother hostage while she goes into labor. When Emma comes home, she calms her biological father down, and we never see or hear from him again. Snake starts to feel ill and accidentally cuts himself while working on a home appliance. He stays at Craig and Joey's as Spike doesn't want their baby to get sick. While playing a game with Craig, he gets a nosebleed and his cut begins to rebleed too. Snake then finds out he has leukemia, and this greatly affects Emma. When Emma finds his will, thinking that the chemotherapy didn't work, she's filled with immense stress.
Liberty, shut up for once. I'm looking for Mr. Simpson.
And bully girl Alex catches Emma in the wrong moment, and Emma beats Alex's ass. I mean, Alex backhanded Emma, but Emma gave Alex a run for her money and had her leaking. Ultimately, and fortunately, Snake goes into remission. Ellie is dealing with her father being in the army and her mother being an absent mother and an alcoholic. We find out that Ellie harms herself with a compass. Ellie and Paige are competing for a co-op with Caitlin Ryan, which Ellie ends up winning. Ellie is dealing with immense stress with her mother's drinking, and her harming herself becomes a routine. Ellie's stress from her mother drinking and wanting to keep her co-op job escalates to the point where she runs to the school bathroom and harms herself. Paige walks in on her and sees the blood. Paige takes it upon herself to help Ellie and tells Miss Sauvé what's going on. Ellie finds out and is furious with Paige, but Paige doesn't back down and tries to get Ellie to see what she's doing to herself is wrong.
I don't need help.
Then show me your arm. It's okay.
Paige's character development has been amazing so far. Sure, she still has her mean girl moments, but she can be really supportive. Paige convinces Ellie to start seeing Miss Sauvé to get help with her harming herself. This episode about harming yourself is something that many teenagers can identify with, and I think Degrassi did a great job with handling this touchy subject. Sean and Emma break up after Sean begins hanging out with the resident Degrassi devil Jay Hogarth. He also becomes Slim Shady during this time and joins in on stealing things. He even steals Mr. Simpson's laptop when he has cancer, the laptop being the only thing that gave him comfort and joy. Eventually, he tells Mr. Simpson and tries to make it up to him by fixing his car for free. Mr. Simpson eventually forgives him. This episode is definitely at a different pace than the usual Degrassi episodes. Essentially, throughout the season, our 5 central characters for this episode, Toby, Jimmy, Ellie, Sean, and Hazel, have been given Saturday detention, which is this episode. Toby and Jimmy got Saturday detention because Toby got caught trying to up Jimmy's grades so he could people please his way into being cool with Jimmy again.
You're such a fake, man. You're a fake computer hacker, you're a fake rap fan. You're just 100% fake.
Sean also got Saturday detention because, I don't know, he be stealing up in here. Hazel got Saturday detention for surfing porn at school, which she admits in the detention.
I got caught surfing porn, okay? Got some spam in my email and I was curious.
Ellie purposefully got herself Saturday detention to get the best story from the other students for her co-op. It's a fun watch to see these totally different characters interact. This episode sees Jimmy and Hazel get together, and Ellie and Sean. Hazel even kisses Toby. And obviously, it's a parody of The Breakfast Club. In Accidents Will Happen Part 2, Liberty develops a crush on Sean. JT gives Sean advice as one of Liberty's previous crushes to shut her down harshly so she will actually listen. And Sean says one of the best lines in the show to Liberty.
Oh, I'm edgy. I'm on fire.
Liberty, you're about as edgy as a butter knife.
Sean then tells Liberty that his friend Towers likes her. And now why did they have this black boy not having any lines and just licking his lips and moving his hands? Now I have seen some discourse about Degrassi having a black character problem, and with Chris beatboxing in damn near every scene he's in, and Towers being, well, Towers, this is definitely evidence to be used. So season 3 was a new level for our characters. However, season 4 is when it all changes and the peak continues. If season 3 was the start of the peak for Degrassi, Degrassi season 4 is what happens when trauma, teenage hormones, and terrible decisions all collide. Which kind of sounds like every season if I'm reading this back, honestly. It gave us the infamous shooting, Craig's bipolar reveal, Manny's reputation crisis, and Paige's fight for justice. The characters, broken. The vibes, darker than ever. The writing, iconic. Well, until Kevin Smith comes to town. As always, let's see what our characters are being characterized as this season. Starting with the grade 10s. Liberty is, as always, an overachiever and has broken up with Towers over the summer. Sean is still dating Ellie and is living by himself after his brother gets a job out of town. JT is still the lovable class clown dating Manny at the beginning of the season. Poor Toby is still nerdy and unpopular. Emma has a summer glow up and starts acting like a douche. Manny is still the resident hot girl of Degrassi, trying to rebuild her reputation. For the grade 11s, Paige is still our resident popular mean girl, still dating Spinner. Craig is still a school stud and a musician. Ellie is still dealing with her alcoholic mother while dating Sean. Jimmy is still a basketball star and is still dating Hazel. Spinner is still dating Paige and weirdly becomes a school bully as he starts hanging out with the resident Degrassi devil, Jay Hogarth, and his girlfriend, Alex. Spinner also has his worst hairstyle this season. They had him walking around with a Karen haircut like he was the mother of a son named Jaden. Hazel is still Paige's sidekick, but this time she's dating Jimmy. Ashley is just being Ashley. And Marco is still dating Paige's brother Dylan. When talking about season 4, I feel like we can't talk about anything before we address the biggest storyline to come out of this season. The storyline that changed Degrassi forever. The horror! Rick's dumbass returns to Degrassi and is now in Emma's grade. The grade 11s are furious with Terry's abuser coming back, and Emma takes this opportunity to weasel her way into the grade 11s and join their pursuit to bully Rick out of Degrassi. Now I know Emma is all about being an activist, but I feel like she used this to hang out with the popular grade 11s, as a few episodes before this, she fell out with Manny and Liberty after essentially saying if Chris, her now ex-boyfriend, dates Liberty next, people are gonna think badly of her.
What are people gonna think of me if Chris goes out with Liberty next?
That's the meanest thing I've ever heard you say.
So she tried to get Chris back even though she didn't want him, just so Liberty couldn't date him. I swear, when Emma got those bangs, she acted brand new. Like Emma was really out here calling Liberty ugly. So Manny told Liberty, and now once again, Manny and Emma are on the outs, but this time Liberty is involved. I mean, Emma even rubs it in Manny and Liberty's face that she's going to get fraps with Paige at the dot.
Gotta go sip a frap with Paige. Have fun in your hot tub.
Like, Miss Girl.
Is it so wrong if I become friends with Paige in the process?
You honestly think Paige is your friend?
Emma ends up losing her standing with the grade 11s when she defends Rick from Jay and Alex. She even asks Rick why he came back to Degrassi, and Rick says it's because he likes it here. Mr. Man, you abused a girl and put her in a coma, and you're coming back to the school where all her friends are, where you're literally guaranteed to be bullied? Like, make it make sense, Rick. Although Rick is continuously bullied by everyone at school, particularly by Jay, Spinner, Alex, and Jimmy, he sparks up a friendship with Toby, as Toby and JT have kind of grown apart. I mean, JT has been popular since season 3 after him and Paige became friends, and he's also spending more time with Liberty's younger brother Danny. Toby and Rick even make a game of trying to get the most kisses from girls, and we see the first appearance of Darcy Edwards. After weeks of bullying, Rick has started to feel numb to it as he enjoys his friendship with Toby. Rick, Toby, and Emma all end up on the Whack Your Brain team, a trivia game show. While Jimmy, Jay, Sean, and Alex are still bullying Rick, Rick retaliates by tagging Jay and Spinner's cars. Jimmy gets put on the Whack Your Brain team by Mr. Simpson and starts to warm up to Rick, even standing up for him against the three stooges, Spinner, Jay, and Alex. This leads Rick to start to feel a bit too comfortable, and he taunts Jay and Spinner about him tagging their cars. Rick also tells his mother, while getting ready for the Whack Your Brain competition, that him, Toby, Emma, and Jimmy are the best of friends.
Jimmy?
Like, child, he is so delusional. Rick also forms a crush on Emma.
You're my guide.
I also have a bone to pick with Rick's mother. Why would you bring your son back to a school where he abused a girl? Like, girl, come on, be a parent. To get back at Rick, Jay, Spinner, and Alex hatch a plan to embarrass him in front of everyone during the Whack Your Brain game show. During the final round, it's up to Rick to win. And when he gets the answer right, winning the game show and feeling triumphant, yellow paint and feathers are poured on him from the ceiling. Emma goes to comfort Rick, and he tries to kiss her. But Emma rejects him and tells him she was only nice to him because she pitied him.
I pitied you. Get a clue.
Rick, feeling a whirlwind of emotions, goes home and retrieves a gun. He returns to school, still covered in the paint and feathers. And this is how you know Degrassi is a terrible school, because where are the teachers to comfort Rick and tell him to, go home? Jimmy finds out that Spinner was a part of the prank, and they get into a fight when Jimmy tells him to fess up. Rick's first target is Paige, but when Paige says that the prank was terrible, Rick spares her and apologizes for hurting Terry.
I wanted to say that I thought the whole paint and feathers job was sickening.
I'm sorry for hurting Terry.
Like Rick was really about to end Paige in point blank range. Spinner and Jay end up in the bathroom and Rick hides in one of the stalls. Jay spots yellow paint and feathers and pretends like he's having a normal conversation with Spinner. This is when the resident Degrassi devil strikes and says that Jimmy helped them with the prank, and Spinner goes along with the lie.
Never would have happened without a man on the inside.
Rick, thinking that Jimmy was a part of the prank, approaches him at his locker. Jimmy tries to tell him that he was trying to defend him, but Rick pulls out his gun.
You set the whole thing up.
Rick, come on, I defended you.
Jimmy backs up and then starts running. In a straight line, might I add. Like, at least run in a zigzag. I mean, Rick's eyes were closed. But it's too late and Rick shoots Jimmy in the back. The lack of noise and Craig appearing to see Jimmy lying on the floor, chef's kiss. Kids start running away. And let me tell you something. Those gremlins who ran past Emma, Toby, and Sean without telling them anything and let them just walk into Rick, yeah, I got beef with them. Like, not even he's got a gun while they're running, just silence. Emma, Toby, and Sean run into Rick, and Rick tells Emma that she made his list because of his delusional self thinking that she was flirting with him to mess with him. Sean takes over and tries to stop Rick, but Rick is unreachable and points his gun at Emma, leading Sean to wrestle the gun away from Rick, and a gunshot goes off. We find out that Rick died in the scuffle.
Did the gunman say anything before he died?
Died?
And Jimmy is in the hospital. Everyone is in shambles. Emma
pointed the gun right at me.
Toby.
He's a psycho, and he's not my friend.
Sean, Craig, Spinner, Paige, Hazel. The writers surprisingly include Hazel's reaction to Jimmy being shot too. It's surprising because you know how they be doing Hazel.
I need to go. No, you can't go. I need to go. I need to go.
The shooting leads to a whirlwind of aftermath for the students involved. Jimmy finds out that he is paralyzed from the waist down, and there is a slim possibility that he will walk again. The writers did a good job showing us Jimmy in the hospital throughout the remaining episodes of season 4 before he goes back to Degrassi. Emma becomes a shell of herself after facing death and starts to act out. She begins hanging out with Jay, and after he offers her bracelets in return for her giving him the Guac Guac 3000, she takes his offer. Emma, still on her promiscuous streak, kisses the lead guy in the play that Liberty and JT are co-directing, out in the open in the main hallway and in front of her stepdad, Mr. Simpson. For context, Emma is the lead girl in the play too, and they have to kiss in the play. Jay is still dating Alex, and Alex ends up getting gonorrhea from him. When Alex's friend Amy is exposed for giving Jay that Guac Guac 3000 for the bracelets, Alex decks her in the face.
Tell me about the ravine, Amy. About how you went down on my boyfriend, Amy. And the bracelets you got for it? I didn't sleep with him.
By whose definition?
Just come outside, Alex.
Emma didn't want no smoke with Alex and hides her bracelets. And Manny finds out what Emma has been doing and tries to stop her.
But I'm not getting pregnant.
Why are you trying to hurt me? Because you won't leave me alone.
Child, another point for Emma being a terrible friend to Manny. Emma is still trying to do the Guac Guac 3000 with Jay, but he refuses. A new sexual health doctor comes in to talk to the grade 10s about an outbreak of gonorrhea in the school.
Gonorrhea?
And with Emma's new sore throat, she realizes that she has it.
Get a fever or a sore throat.
Hey, Em, you got something to tell us?
Shut up.
Emma even has the audacity to try and kiss the lead guy during the play. knowing that she has gonorrhea. But luckily, the lead guy found out beforehand. From who, I don't know, maybe Manny.
There isn't enough antibiotic in the world that would make me kiss you. And that little smooch in the hall the other day, who knows what I caught from that. Thanks so much.
You gave me a social disease.
Emma eventually tells Snake and Spike how she hasn't been coping well after the shooting.
I just wanted you to be proud before. How brave and perfect I was. And after everything happened and Rick died, I couldn't hold on to it anymore.
And asks to be taken to the clinic.
There's something going around the school right now, but it's a very specific group. And Em, if you're worried, there's a good chance you don't have to be.
I have to be.
Yeah, Snake's face says it all. A week after the shooting, people keep calling Sean a hero, but Sean isn't jumping at the chance to claim that title. Sean appears to be doing well, while everyone else is emotional.
I stopped Rick from killing people. I sleep like a baby.
But someone did die, Sean. Rick.
Luck of the draw.
However, after he sees his parents on the news with his mother crying, the same parents who essentially abandoned him, he gets angry and sets out to visit them. With the help of Emma, Ellie and Jay, we finally see Sean break down after holding in his emotions.
When the gun went off, my hand was covered in warm liquid. I thought I pissed myself, but then I realized that I was drenched in Rick's blood. That kid at school, he was gonna shoot my friend. So I grabbed the gun and it went off. I think I might have. Oh God. I might have killed him.
Everyone has been calling him a hero, but he's still a kid who went through such a traumatic experience. And Daniel Clark was acting down. Sean ultimately decides to leave Degrassi to move back in with his parents, and him and Ellie break up. After the school shooting, JT and Danny are angry with Toby because he was friends with Rick.
I'm sorry that you became friends with a psycho. You knew what Rick was like.
I didn't know he was gonna bring a gun to school.
Manny shades JT about him being the bigger man.
Now I remember why we broke up. You just can't be the bigger man.
When she saw his stack of dimes and him trying to put a penis pump in there compared to Craig's schlong, I can't. JT eventually mans up and attends Rick's funeral to support Toby.
It doesn't matter what I thought of Rick. It still shouldn't have happened.
Side note, now why did Manny come up to Rick's funeral serving "See you next Tuesday"? I also want to add that season 3 and 4 have my favorite Manny looks. She was eaten down. Spinner is reeling with the fact that he essentially had a hand to play in Jimmy being shot.
We might have killed him. We didn't do anything. We did.
His guilt leads him to not even visit Jimmy in the hospital. And when Jimmy eventually comes back to school, Spinner tries to make it up to him. However, Spinner's guilt explodes and he tells Jimmy about his hand in Rick, thinking that Jimmy had something to do with the prank.
Are you in the chair? Huh? Do you wake up every morning thinking you can walk and then remembering that you will never, ever walk again?
In the bathroom, after we dumped that stuff on Rick, me and Jay told him you were behind it.
And then he shot me.
Jimmy is understandably furious, and Aubrey Graham's acting was amazing during this scene. Everyone in the school finds out what Spinner did, and he ends up being kicked out of the friendship group. Manny even breaks up with Spinner with just a dirty look. That outfit, that hair, that face card, oh, she ate down. Spinner tries to apologize to Jimmy, but Jimmy tells him that he's dead to him.
I don't care. I don't. You're dead to me already.
Spinner then eventually tells Ms. Hasalakos, who took over being principal after Mr. Radic got fired for not doing anything about Rick's bullying before the shooting.
Richard, I've told you time and time again, it takes two to tango.
Sir.
You don't like him, and he doesn't like you. So I suggest you try harder to get along. Come back if anything serious happens. They want to know if you can get into Rick's email to look for signs, warning signs. I have 700 students and a teaching staff that I'm responsible for every day. Don't get on my case because one kid overreacted to some spilled paint.
Yeah, one kid who you've personally spoken to twice in the last 2 days. But did you listen?
Of course I did.
I bet you can't remember a word he said. This tragedy, Dana, could have been prevented if you hadn't...
Spinner tells Mr. Hatzilakos what he and Jay did, and he and Jay are expelled from Degrassi. But like, what about Alex? She faced absolutely no repercussions when it was her being the vice president which allowed them to even pull off the prank. Anyway, Spinner is definitely going to have this on his conscience for seasons to come. I mean, Spinner showed real remorse for what happened. Even in the episode where Jimmy got shot, he was heartbroken. It wasn't like he knew Rick was gonna go all Terminator on Jimmy's back. No shade. Alas, another example of your actions having consequences. We have come to the legal proceedings in Paige's assault case after 2 years since the incident happened. Paige, understandably, isn't handling it well, especially when Dean's punk ass goes to her brother Dylan's new college and they run into each other. He tries to get her to drop the charges, but she ignores him.
Parents hearing the details, my girlfriend, your boyfriend. It was a really long time ago.
This man really deserves to be under the prison. During the court case, Paige has to recount what happened to her, and Dean's lawyer, another woman might I add, grills her endlessly.
How many men have you had sex with, Miss Michaelchuk?
That was my only experience. And I certainly would not have chosen to lose my virginity upstairs at a house party with a guy I'd known for an hour.
Unfortunately, Paige loses the case. This sends Paige into a whirlwind of hurt, and she snaps. Going to a college party and getting wasted. She tries to act promiscuous because she believes that that's what people see her as after losing the case.
I'm easy. Everyone knows it. The judge, my mother. Now you.
She then decides to take Spinner's keys and crashes Spinner's car into Dean's car. She eventually does the right thing, the thing that Dean could never do, and goes to the police station and confesses to damaging Dean's car, thus closing the saga of Paige's assault. Oh, and she has to get a job to pay for the damages to Spinner's car. I will say, this arc of Paige's assault was done very well, in my opinion. From the assault happening, Paige's complex emotions, to the heartbreak of losing the case, it was a very well written, complete arc, because this stuff happens in real life all the time. Now, I love my girl Manny, but she's back at it again, getting in between people's relationships. This time with Spinner and Paige. Spinner starts to act like a real dick while Paige is working to pay him back for ruining his car. Manny asks Spinner to ask Craig and Downtown Sasquatch to play at the Spirit Squad car wash fundraiser. I love this moment where Spinner tries to convince them to play.
Spinner has a point.
Who asked you? What? I mean, yeah, what she said. Sorry.
Like, Spinner really is Ashley's #1 hater. During the car wash, Manny and Spinner get a bit too close, and Manny's giving that I want you eyes, and Spinner, the one in the relationship, is giving those eyes right back. During Manny and Spinner's weird embrace, Craig and his trusty old camera takes a picture of them. Hazel then shows these pictures to Paige. When Paige confronts Spinner and tells him to tell her that nothing's going on with him and Manny, Spinner doesn't answer. Spinner continues to be a dick to Paige, and I get that he's annoyed about the fact that his car got wrecked, but he's taking full advantage of the situation. And like Hazel says,
I miss the old you, with the old Spinner trailing behind, obedient and slightly afraid.
That was before I smashed his car.
Into the car of the freak who raped you. Good boyfriends don't hold you to things like that.
But also, I don't like how Hazel liked when Spinner was obedient to Paige and now has a problem with Paige being obedient to Spinner. Like, Miss Girl, you liked Spinner being dog walked by Paige? Hazel's kind of dog walked by Paige too, so yay. The love triangle escalates when Craig has had enough of Spinner treating Paige like crap and stands up to Spinner. Craig says that Spinner was always jealous of him and Manny. And Spinner, Gavin Spinner Mason, whose girlfriend is Paige, not Manny, tells Craig that Craig is now jealous of him and Manny.
You were always jealous of Manny and me.
Yeah, well now you're jealous of Manny and me.
Craig and Spinner end up fighting, and unluckily for Paige, they do it at her workplace, and this gremlin of a boss fires Paige. Like it's her fault that those two idiots were fighting. Like, how is that fair? Paige does eventually get her job back because Alex vouches for her. But Paige breaks up with Spinner because when he was fighting with Craig, he wasn't fighting for her, he was fighting for Manny. Eventually, Manny and Spinner start dating. And can I say, I hated Manny with Spinner. I feel like she acted so ditzy when she was with him, especially in the episode where she joined Downtown Sasquatch.
Guys, can't we get a prettier one?
And as you know, Manny breaks up with Spinner after she finds out that he had a part to play in Jimmy getting shot. Now, Craig has always had some erratic moments. Staying on the train tracks when a train was approaching, his behavior with Manny when he found out she was pregnant, his behavior with letting Ashley into Downtown Sasquatch.
Ash has gotta go. Oh, Sticks, hey, slow it down. Ash has gotta go.
The two-parter, Voices That Carry, shows us how Craig's mental state continues to fall as he not only starts acting out in school, but he also steals Joey's credit card to get a hotel room for him and Ashley, proposes to Ashley,
I want you to marry me,
embarrasses himself and Ashley at Ashley's dad's wedding, and trashes the hotel room. But he also goes into fits of anger and hyperactiveness where it seems like he blacks out. Joey finally realizes what's going on with Craig, and Joey's actor delivers a line so simple but so effective.
What do I do? What is happening to my son?
This all culminates in Craig beating Joey up in a blind fit of rage, landing Craig in a mental hospital where he finds out that he has bipolar disorder and will be getting the help he needs. Jake Epstein, you've done it again. The way he is able to portray erratic and desperate is so well done. Chef's kiss. Craig's characterization is honestly one of the better written in the show. The way the writers were essentially sprinkling in little moments of erratic behavior through seasons 2 to 4 before his diagnosis was brilliant. I also wanted to add how it's funny that Ashley is back with Craig after he literally got another girl pregnant. But hey, it happens in real life. This disgusting ass relationship, ugh, I don't even want to talk about it, but I must. For context, Paige is 16 and Mr. Oleander has to be at least 20 or 21, but he looks about 25. Mr. Oleander is a teaching assistant and the yoga instructor. Paige instantly has a crush on him, so she and Hazel drum up some fake IDs and sneak into a club that she knows that he'll be at. Why she knows this, I don't remember, and frankly, I do not care. Paige embarrasses herself in the club when she finds Mr. O with another woman who clocks her and Hazel's tea and tells the bartender that they're underage.
And Shirley Temple for the kid here. It's a school night.
After this, all of a sudden, Mr. O and Paige have some sort of thing going on when the writers haven't even built it up. We went from Paige having a schoolgirl crush on him to now he likes her back. What? They kiss at the school dance and Manny catches them. Now they're officially dating. Manny, thinking that Hazel knows about their affair, talks to Hazel about it, but Hazel has no idea. In class, Hazel calls out Mr. O, but nobody notices.
Gee, Mr. Oleander, I thought you only had eyes for Paige.
Paige, annoyed at Manny, confronts her and they have a physical fight. Mr. O jumps in with Miss Hatsalakos and Manny says one of the best lines in the show, intertwined with one of her favorite sayings.
Hey, Mr. Pedophile. I mean, Oleander, don't make your girlfriend Paige even more jealous of me.
This outs Paige and Mr. O's relationship. During the investigation, Paige finds out that Mr. O told Miss Hatsalakos that Paige was stalking him. Like, the audacity.
He told me that you were obsessed with him, that you followed him, you wouldn't leave him alone, you stalked him.
Paige ends up going along with the lie to save Mr. O's job, but Mr. Simpson can see right through it, and I love him in this scene.
No, I can't. I trusted you with my kids. My kids trusted you, including her.
Eventually, in the meeting, Mr. O tells the truth and loses his job, but they still continue to date. Mr. O then ends up leaving the country, but him and Paige are still dating. I hate this relationship. I hate Mr. O. I hate it all. Like, the writers really tried to act like this was normal to an extent, as Paige and him still continued dating after he lost his job. They even tried to justify it by saying Marco is dating Dylan, who is in college. But Marco and Dylan started dating when Marco was in 10th grade and Dylan was in 12th grade, not his teacher. Now, this is the first little fall of Degrassi. Their crown moved a little bit when Kevin Smith came to town. Kevin Smith apparently loved Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High and also had a crush on Caitlin's actor. But child, I do not care. This plotline was nonsensical to say the least. Not the real teen gritty drama Degrassi portrayed itself to be. So essentially, Kevin Smith decides to shoot a movie at Degrassi. Ellie, Paige, and Manny all get roles in the movie. Craig and Ashley also get recruited to compose a song for the movie. I hate these episodes. Kevin Smith even bagged Caitlin and took her away from Joey. Like, this long-standing Degrassi romance from Degrassi High ends because of Kevin Smith. Weak writing at its finest. I know most Degrassi fans are Sean and Emma lovers, but in my opinion, Ellie and Sean were a way better couple. They had a way more healthier relationship than Sean and Emma. JT and Liberty officially start dating while working on the school play together. They had cute moments sprinkled throughout season 4, and this was the healthiest we'll see them together.
Patience, my hot-headed paramour. But she's paraphrasing your words, my talented namorada.
I call season 5 the last normal season for the OGs, as it's literally the last season to have one season be the entire school year. After this, the school years are split into 2 seasons, which I personally don't like, as it opened the door for many characters to overstay their welcome. This season is a good one. It's not one of my favorites, but it has good storylines in there. This season is a good one. It's not one of my favorites, but it still has good storylines in there. As always, let's see what the characters are up to. Our first grade 12s, Paige, after breaking up with Spinner and Mr. O, is now a sexually confused Queen Bee when she begins to have feelings for Alex. Ellie has now become a pick-me who's obsessed with Craig. Spinner becomes a born-again Christian after he starts dating Darcy Edwards, wanting to earn forgiveness from his former friends. Jimmy is now dealing with paralyzed life, but still dating Hazel. As always, Hazel is Paige's sidekick. Marco is still hiding his sexuality from his dad. Alex realizes she's a lesbian after falling for Paige. Oh yeah, and Ashley moved to the UK. As for the grade 11s, Liberty, as always, is an overachiever, student council president, still dating JT, and shocker, gets pregnant with JT's child. JT is Degrassi's infamous class clown, who now has a lot of growing up to do after getting Liberty pregnant. Toby, as always, is JT's nerdy best friend. Oh, Emma this season gets me tight. She betrays Manny, we'll get into it, and develops an eating disorder. And as for Manny, she is now an aspiring actress after featuring in Kevin Smith's movie. She also develops body issues too, wanting a boob job. Her already tarnished reputation goes down to the gutter when her breasts are exposed to the whole school, but child, we'll get into that now. Season 5 starts with Emma and Manny by the pool and Manny girl. At least that face card never declines. Emma has a crush on new boy Peter Stone, but it's evident that he likes Manny, but Manny doesn't like him.
Manny, he's looking at you. Please. I'm not his type. He's looking at you. You are.
Manny is heavily insecure about her body this season, and after being shut down by a casting director who harps on her weight, she decides to go see a plastic surgeon, which is crazy. Manny's body is perfectly fine. During this era, I'm pretty sure it was about all being tall, skinny, and blonde. That's where her insecurities are coming from. The beauty standard. The beauty standard. The plastic surgeon suggests that she get a boob job, and she puts down a deposit using the money that she earned from her role in the Kevin Smith movie. Her parents eventually find out, and Mr. Santos, the ass that he is, calls Manny a loose girl for how she dresses, and ultimately calls her a slut for wanting a boob job.
You think I sacrificed all my life so you can be a loose girl?
I'm not a loose girl.
Then why do you want bigger boobs, huh? Huh? What kind of girl wants that? A good girl? No, only a slut.
Manny runs out of the house upset and goes to Peter's house party where she runs into Emma. And this is another moment of Emma being a terrible friend to Manny. A rando girl, the same girl that Emma was hating on when her and Manny were at the pool, insults Manny.
Oh, no, that explains it. Peter invited her. He does go for girls like that.
He's talking to that turquoise tankini tramp. I hate her.
Now you'd think that Emma would stand up for Manny, or at least hang out with Manny for the rest of the night. But no, She continues hanging out with the same rando girl who insulted Manny, leaving Manny alone to get drunk. Peter approaches Manny, and Manny, drunk out of her mind, leads him to the bathroom. She tells him that she's thinking of getting a boob job. She then suggests that they make a little movie with Peter's camera. Mind you, Peter is all the way sober. Peter starts recording and Manny takes off her top, exposing herself on camera.
I'm gonna be an actress. Like, Academy Award winning. And you can sell this for $1 million because I'm gonna be famous.
The next day, Manny doesn't remember any of last night, and Peter reminds her.
Yeah, I remember everything. Especially when you showed me your,
But you were sober. Why didn't you try and stop me?
Because your request, let's make a little movie, implied you didn't want me to.
She tells him to delete it and he says that he will. But then he begins badgering her for a date, but she keeps telling him she isn't interested.
So when are we going out?
This isn't funny anymore.
You didn't answer my question.
When she insults him, he decides to forward the video to everyone at school. And the floodgates are wide open. Jimmy utters an iconic Degrassi line.
Manny Santos, my, how you've grown.
Manny is kicked off the Spirit Squad, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, you'd think that Paige of all people would understand. But nah, I'm pretty sure Paige still doesn't like Manny after she stole her man and pulled her hair. Emma is back with another terrible friend point when she confronts Manny, knowing that Manny exposed herself to Peter, and goes as far to tell Manny that she hates her.
I hate you.
For a dude who doesn't even like you, Emma. If things couldn't get any worse, Manny is kicked out of the house by her father after she says she won't stop trying to pursue acting.
You tell that girl this is no longer her home.
Manny's mother has no backbone. How you gonna let your husband kick your daughter out of the house? Ma'am? Manny, with nowhere else to go, goes to Emma's house. They make up because, honestly, Manny has nowhere else to go. When Peter tries, and I use the word tries loosely, to apologize to Manny, Miss Hatsalakos appears and we find out that she is Peter's mother. Which means no justice for Manny because Peter only gets 5 weeks detention. So Manny's reputation is in the gutter and she's living with Emma throughout the season. Emma starts secretly dating Peter behind Manny's back. And this is truly the worst thing that Emma has ever done to Manny. Like, this guy exposed your best friend's breasts to the whole school and you date him? After Snake cheats on Emma's mother, Spike, he gets kicked out of the house. Emma starts to feel like she's losing control of her life. Manny, who's already going through her own body issues, wants to lose some weight to fit into one of her jeans. Emma, who feels just as fat, girl fat where, decides that they both should go on a diet. At first, the diet is going well, until Snake comes to dinner and cooks his famous Ui Gui Masaki. Manny chows down while Emma is hesitant. Manny complains about feeling bloated and Emma suggests that they make themselves throw up.
We could get rid of it.
Like how? Puking? That kind of extreme?
Desperate times call for desperate purging.
It's not called purging, it's called bulimia.
Don't be so dramatic. These are special circumstances. We'll feel better, Manny. Come on.
Manny is hesitant at first, but she goes along with it. So the girls start their bulimia journey and Manny loses the weight that she wanted to. She now wants to stop, but Emma pushes her to continue.
No. There's a butter tart in the cap with my name on it.
Manny, no. If we're happy with less than our goal, we're only disappointing ourselves.
At lunch, Manny spots a delicious pepperoni pizza calling her name. And to hide it from Emma, she eats it at her locker. However, Emma catches her and forces her to throw up, but Manny refuses.
Manny, your body is a reflection of you. The agent is going to see that you're undisciplined.
The agent is going to see that I have energy and rosy cheeks and that I don't have puke breath.
This is so typical Manny. Give up when the going gets tough.
When Manny leaves, Emma faints from not eating. Miss Hatsalakos, with all the audacity in the world, tells Emma that she's here to help, after just creeping around with her dad. Okay. Manny clocks onto Emma not eating and tries to tell her mom, but right when Manny is going to, Emma drops the bomb that she's dating Peter.
Spike would love to read this.
Manny, no! I'm dating Peter!
And Manny is furious, telling Emma she's going to move back home with her parents. Emma begins flaunting her relationship with Peter now that Manny has found out. But Manny makes a quip at Peter about Emma not eating, and Peter begins to become suspicious.
Emma, you got fries in your pocket.
It's just a little snack for later.
Cold French fries? From your pocket?
He approaches Manny and tells her that he thinks that Emma has an ED. Manny, Peter, Spike, and Snake have an intervention for Emma, and Emma completely eats them all up.
And you guys are all so perfect. You take advantage of drunk girls. You are the drunk girl. And last time I checked, you were making out with his mother.
But things escalate when Emma blames Manny for everything and starts trashing Manny's clothes. But during this, Emma has a panic attack, and in hospital we find out that Emma will be diagnosed with anorexia. Now I just want to say something. I think Miriam McDonald's acting in these 2 episodes were great in conveying EDs. And it must have been incredibly hard for her as her sister was going through her own ED, which she sadly passed away from.
Maybe it was Emma's eating disorder episode. Truthfully, that one, I do not think it was done justice, so I can't even, that is such a massive issue for me. I didn't think I was gonna cry, but they know that my sister, I can't believe I'm crying in here. My sister passed away.
All that being said, I hate how Manny wasn't able to cut Emma off for dating Peter because it was essentially overshadowed by Emma's eating disorder. So Manny just had to deal with her best friend betraying her and still live in her house. I hate it. For the first 5 episodes, we see Liberty wearing more baggy clothes. She also keeps snapping at JT about him being immature and not having good career aspirations.
I'm sorry, but early mornings, writing copy, being on time, does that sound like JT work to you?
We finally find out that she's been acting odd because she's pregnant. Her and JT, the 2 bozos, used a king-sized condom during the summer. King-sized when we all know that JT don't got it like that. Liberty hides her pregnancy for months while she keeps picking on JT for not being prepared enough.
Okay, I'm lying, but the thing is, every time I look at those books, I just get kind of flustered. They freak me out.
Why am I not surprised?
Honestly, I hate how the writers had Liberty treating JT. They were so cute in season 4, and now it seems like every scene with these 2 is Liberty angry at JT. JT breaks up with Liberty because of this, but ensures her that he wants to help and be there for her and the baby. Eventually, JT and Liberty get back together and start looking for places to live. How they're going to afford that is beyond me. They also tell JT's grandma and Liberty's parents. And whoof!
Try not to be angry.
Liberty's dad's reaction? I'm surprised he didn't whoop JT's ass. To pay for all the necessities a baby needs, JT gets a job at a pharmacy. But here comes Degrassi's resident devil, Jay, who takes JT under his wing and gets JT to steal pills from his workplace to sell to a drug dealer to get extra money. After 1 or 2 steals, JT wants to stop, especially after Liberty finds out and is furious. But the drug dealer isn't having it. JT becomes so stressed that he deliberately overdoses on pills. Liberty visits him in hospital and decides that they must put the baby up for adoption.
I'm going to the adoption agency. JT, it'll be for the best.
So now Liberty's pregnancy is out in the open and she's pregnant for several episodes. And we don't see her interact with Emma or Manny at all. Like they were just hanging out in the beginning of the season. But then when Liberty is revealed to be pregnant, we don't see her interact with anybody except JT and Toby. Also, Liberty's pregnancy was essentially treated as a B plot, which fuels the flames of the Degrassi writers not writing black characters well. Like Liberty giving birth was literally a B plot. Liberty and JT break up and give the baby up for adoption. And we see that it takes a toll on Liberty, especially next season.
Because my baby is gone. He's gone across the country and I abandoned him.
Snake is going through a midlife crisis of sorts, which leads him to buy a motorcycle, which bonds him and Miss Hatsalakos. In an out of character moment, Emma and Peter discover Miss Hatsalakos and Mr. Simpson making out after the screening of the Kevin Smith movie. When Spike finds out, she kicks Snake out of the house and he lives with Joey for a while. Eventually, Spike and Snake get back together. And how, you ask? Snake sang a corny song in a mall, and that's all it took for Spike to take him back.
Sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much.
This is such an out of character moment for Snake, and I hate it. After spending the summer hanging out with Craig, Ellie clearly develops a crush on him. With Ashley breaking up with him, Craig is free on the market, but he vows that girls are off limits this year. Until he sees Manny being harassed by Peter and stands up for her.
I'm not finished. I think you are. You don't talk to her. You don't even look at her. Ever again, or you deal with me. Clear?
To cheer Manny up, he invites her to a wedding gig that he and Downtown Sasquatch will be playing out. Ellie dresses up to look cute for Craig, but is immediately upstaged by Manny. And here the pick-me era of Ellie starts, as she calls Manny's outfit a roadie costume.
Yeah, very practical roadie costume.
She continues to take jabs at Manny all night, calling Manny a low-rent Pop-Tart.
We don't need any low-rent Pop-Tarts in our band.
Well, they do say there should be at least one attractive girl in every band.
Oh, you're not calling me ugly.
Then when Craig invites Manny on stage to do a cute little tambourine set, Ellie throws a drumstick at Manny's head. Like, Miss Girl, this is somebody's wedding.
Did you just throw a drumstick at my head?
You could feel it through all that hairspray. Amazing.
I do not like Ellie after this episode. She blames Craig for how she's acting. Okay.
And this? This isn't me. Okay, I don't dress up.
Despite all her efforts, Craig visits Manny and they end up kissing, cementing them getting back together. Oh, Ellie, don't get gagged like that. Like, it's clear that Craig finds Ellie attractive, but he's also clearly not interested in her in a romantic sense at all. This is really the downfall of Ellie's character, as after this, her obsession with Craig never ends. Like, you hate Manny and call her all types of hoes, but you want to date the guy who cheated on your best friend. Make it make sense. Paige discovers that she's bisexual and starts a relationship with Alex. I think the build-up was done well, and Paige and Alex have good chemistry together. Jimmy ends up falling for Ellie since they have a lot more in common than him and Hazel. Hazel breaks up with Jimmy after Jimmy paints Ellie on a mural for Degrassi and tells Hazel that Ellie inspires him.
I love you, but Ellie, she inspires me.
I so did not need to hear that.
After Jimmy and Hazel break up, Jimmy tries to ask Ellie out, but she declines. Like, really, Jimmy? He did Hazel so wrong. She stuck by him through everything that happened after the shooting, and this is how he does her? And we barely even got to see their relationship. They've been dating since season 3, and we barely knew how their relationship was like. After being expelled last season, Spinner is accepted back into Degrassi and tries to make amends with his former friends, but they aren't having it. He eventually starts dating Darcy Edwards, who introduces him to Friendship Club, a Christian group. As a Christian myself, there are parts of Spinner's Born Again storyline that I really like Darcy, in this season anyway, not being judgmental, which is actually one of the cornerstones of Christianity. And I also appreciate the illustration of Christians who don't practice what they preach, such as the D-bag lioness, who not only judges Marco for protesting safe sex, but also Marco's homosexuality while also being a Christian.
Why don't you try going to church?
I do. Every Sunday.
And they let you in?
There are a lot of Christians out there who are extremely judgmental, despite one of the main things God teaches is not to judge. Those type of Christians, like Lioness, make people who aren't Christian or who were shy away from their religion. Spinner sees getting close to God as a way to redeem himself for his past actions, and he actively tries to become a better person. However, after taking a purity pledge, he lies to Darcy and tells her that he's still a virgin, and that he never had sex with Manny when they were dating because of her so-called history.
Yeah, I wasn't even into her that way. Her whole sexual past, it just turned me off.
Yeah, okay, buddy. You know you wanted some of Manny, please. Darcy finds out that Spinner lied and calls Manny a slut.
Well, you should, considering you are the school's biggest slut.
You are the last person to ever call me that!
And when Manny said that was the last time somebody called her that, child, that was the truth. Spinner also ends up sleeping with Paige behind Darcy's back. But Spinner and Darcy eventually get back together. One of the biggest things to come out of Spinner's redemption arc was the fact that Jimmy forgave him. Jimmy ends up forgiving him during their would-be graduation, as there's only the two of them left. Personally, I don't know if I could ever be friends with Spinner again. Forgive him, yeah, but friends? Nah. This season, we bid farewell to Paige, Marco, Hazel, Alex, and Ellie as Degrassi students. Craig chooses to go on tour instead of graduating or going to college. Jimmy and Spinner have to repeat senior year due to the shooting. Jimmy for missing school because of staying in the hospital, and Spinner because he was expelled last year. Ashley comes back at the end of the season, does a little quip with Ellie hating on Manny.
Guess I knew he was always destined for greatness.
Don't be so sure. He's dating Manny.
Ew, that makes me vaguely itchy.
Me too.
Ellie, the pick-me that you are. Season 5 was an okay season for me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't at the heights of season 3 and 4. Season 6, however, is when the first fall of Degrassi takes force. Let's get the characters out of the way first before diving in. We now have the graduates. Paige is at her dream school at Banting. Ellie is a journalist at her college. Marco is feeling lonely with that hoe Dylan. Alex is dealing with family issues that drive her to become a stripper to pay the bills. As for our grade 12s, seeing my babies, Manny, Emma, Liberty, JT, and Toby all grown up, ready to graduate always hits me in the feels. Liberty, after giving birth, is still an overachiever and is now pining after JT. Sean is back and is now a lovesick puppy for Emma. JT is the popular class clown and he starts dating new girl Mia, who's a teen mom. Emma is still dating Peter. Ew. Manny is still an aspiring actress and she is still dating Craig. Toby is still a nerdy outcast. Ashley is back repeating her senior year and is back to being preppy Ashley from season 1. Jimmy is repeating his senior year, as well as Spinner. As for the grade 11s, we have Peter, Darcy, who becomes the new Spirit Squad captain, Derek and Danny being Liberty's younger brother, both class clowns. And for the grade 10s, we have Shantae, who's been here since season 4, might I add, and Mia, the teen mom, and JT's new girlfriend. Now let's get into why this season is nowhere near my favorite. Sean returns and a boring love triangle ensues between Sean, Emma, and Peter. I hate that they brought Sean back to essentially be a lovesick puppy to Emma. Peter gets a brand new car from his daddy and becomes interested in street racing.
Yo, dudes, check out my whip. Yeah, whatever. I mean my car.
Now why he say that to the black guys walking by? Sean and Emma end up making out and Peter finds out.
I don't even know how it happened.
Well, did you have sex with him?
No! I can't believe you'd even ask me that. I'm not some kind of slut.
Could've fooled me.
I'm sorry, that reaction from Peter was hilarious, I won't lie. Peter plants drugs in Sean's locker and gets Sean expelled from Degrassi. Jay, the resident Degrassi devil, suggests that Sean and Peter do some street racing to, I don't know, settle things? I'm a bit confused. Sean ends up accidentally running over a random guy and Jay tells him to run because Sean's 18 and Peter is a minor, so he won't get in trouble. So essentially Sean is now on the run, but Emma finds him in her bedroom and she doesn't believe him about the drugs not being his and pushes him away.
You're the only one who cares. You're the only one who...
You're wrong. I don't care, Sean. I can't.
Sean then hands himself into the police. Emma literally washes her hands off Sean. I swear these episodes had Emma acting like a real Karen with her privileged rich white boyfriend. Like Sean is getting beat up in prison and she's comparing that to Peter being grounded.
Speaking about your boyfriend, I heard that he got off with a slap on the wrist.
Please. He's under major Hasselackos lockdown plus community service.
Poor baby. I really hope the leaf blower doesn't strain his back.
Emma eventually finds out that Peter planted the drugs in Sean's locker when Manny points out that Peter broke into Emma's locker to give her a gift for the costume dance. And I mean, his mother is the freaking principal. Of course he can gain access to locker combos. Emma breaks up with Peter. And what is wild to me is that it takes Peter sabotaging Sean for Emma to not like Peter anymore, but she liked him enough to date him when he literally exposed her best friend's breasts to the whole school. Well done, Emma. Emma then starts visiting Sean in prison. Then Emma and Sean get back together, and the fans go wild. However, many episodes later, Sean wants to enlist in the army, but Emma tells him that she thinks that she's pregnant. I swear down, Emma wanted to be pregnant because she thought Sean would stay if she was.
It's negative.
Yes!
Don't get too excited. False negatives are common. I have all the symptoms. I'm days late.
If you're pregnant, let's keep the baby. If that's okay with you.
Yes.
But then when Sean said that he would still be going to the army, but will still provide for her and the would-be baby, all of a sudden she doesn't want to be pregnant anymore.
Yeah, it's more than okay. I got my period. Oh, yes!
Sean and Emma break up and Sean goes off to the army. And the fans cried. Now this storyline is the drama that we need. When Craig and Manny get together, you know it's going to be chaos. Even individually, there's chaos. Craig has been gone for some time on tour, but he comes back to visit Manny and his friends. Ellie is still being a pick-me and obviously still has a crush on Craig, but this time she's dating her editor or something for the college newspaper, Jessie. Manny is auditioning for a role on West Drive, basically the in-universe Degrassi. And when she comes back from the audition, Craig is singing her praises. And here comes Ellie with something snarky to say.
West Drive is huge.
You like earnest teen melodramas filled with woefully bad writing.
Craig has a gig, and when Manny goes backstage, she finds Craig sniffing that white powder. Craig insists to Manny that he hasn't done it much. Okay, buddy, that's why you barely called for months. Craig was all about that sniffing life. Manny says that she feels dumb around Craig's friends, but literally all they are being is pretentious.
Ellie and I have been taking intro to psych, and Young says that we all have like massive complexes.
No kidding. The rest is rules. Yeah. Well, Rousseau did say man's choices are limited, you know? Man is born free, but everywhere is in chains.
Only true if he's part of society.
Yeah, well, you can't not be, though. It's not exactly optional.
So true, so true.
2 months in college, taking 101 classes, now they're acting like they're literary geniuses. Manny snaps at Ellie about no guys liking her, and Ellie counters back with Manny's breasts being shown to the whole school last year.
Really? Because I thought being constantly rejected by guys would mess you up, Ellie.
I don't know how I made it through high school without having my breasts shown online.
Manny leaves the table, Craig following her. She tells Craig that she feels terrible and wants to feel confident around Craig's quote-unquote smart friends. So here comes Manny's chaotic ass asking Craig to show her how to use that sniffing powder. So Manny and Craig, the two bozos, go back to the dinner table, high off their minds, acting like fools. The day after, Ellie comes into Craig's room and finds the white powder. And Craig Manning, with all the audacity in the world, tells Ellie that Manny has an addiction.
Craig, are you doing coke?
Manny is.
And you know that Pick Misha Ellie believes him. Manny then tells Craig that she felt terrible after taking it and never wants to do it again. Craig, however, dismisses her and essentially chooses the white powder over her. So Manny breaks up with him. When Manny is leaving, she tells Ellie that Craig is all hers now, and Pick Misha Ellie tries to be snarky again and blame Manny for the white powder.
I found your loot bag and I know the coke is yours. Craig told me.
But Manny gives Ellie a reality check.
Craig lied. That's what drug addicts do, Ellie. Good luck with him.
Who's more pathetic, you for lying to me about the drugs or me for believing you?
At Craig's gig, Ellie tries to help Craig get off the powder and they kiss. Ellie's dumb ass thinks that he likes her until Craig says he wants to keep taking the powder.
I love you too.
So don't make me stop.
Mind you, Ellie has a boyfriend. Craig goes out on stage and gets a nosebleed on stage. Ellie tells Joey and Snake, and Craig is left at the airport with Snake while Joey will be waiting for him when he lands. I'm gonna be honest, I hate that Manny and Craig got back together in season 5. I think the actors have amazing chemistry.
And what are friends for, right? If not to wipe huge globs of mayo off your little chin. Okay. Let's learn to eat.
But hey, Cassie still can have amazing chemistry with anyone. However, I just feel like it was unnecessary, especially because we barely got to see them together because Craig was on tour. But you know, it's realistic because they have history, and like I said, Craig is always gonna love his almost baby mama. Now, this arc right here is one of the many falls of season 6. The college years were a total miss. I thought they were the most boring storylines of not just this season, but the next season too. Like, who cares about Ellie dating an upperclassman named Jesse who's her editor or something? The writers really tried to push Ellie's college stories down our throat after literally ruining her character and turning her into a pick-me. And who cares about Marco and Dylan's relationship? Marco should have dumped Dylan after Dylan cheated on him the first time. The only good storyline to come out of the college stories was Paige adjusting to life at college and having panic attacks due to the increased pressure that college brings. The show is called Degrassi. It needs to stay in Degrassi. That's the problem with a lot of high school shows. Not many can do the transition to college right. I mean, look at Glee. The thing about high school shows is that high school feels like the end all be all and their stakes feel so high. The students are essentially at the mercy of their teachers and parents. But once they go off to college, they're adults, and there's no sense of authority that makes high school shows entertaining. One of the biggest storylines this season is the introduction of Mia Jones, a teen mom who starts a relationship with JT. Liberty is clearly jealous and hurt, even though she broke up with him.
Yeah, I love kids.
Yeah, guys always say that.
No, I mean it.
This new relationship between Mia and JT segues into Darcy begs Manny to come back to the Spirit Squad after Manny was kicked off last year for, you know, getting her breasts exposed to the whole school. Manny reluctantly comes back and they both do tryouts for new members. Mia is introduced as an amazing cheerleader and Darcy and Manny are all for her until Darcy finds out that Mia is a teen mom and becomes highly judgmental of her.
That's your baby?
Even stopping her from joining the Spirit Squad. However, Manny steps in and lets Mia join. During a basketball game between Lakehurst and Degrassi, Darcy has a verbal altercation with Mia and Manny, which leads to Mia pushing Darcy onto a Lakehurst boy.
Unless you got knocked up on purpose, in which case you've got even bigger issues.
Whoa. We find out quickly that this Lakehurst boy is Mia's ex, Nick, and he insults her by asking her if she found out who the baby's father was.
Hey, did you ever figure out who the father is?
Mia's all about it and she slaps him, leading to a random Lakehurst girl to start pulling her hair. Manny, who's always down to fight, tries to get the girl off Mia, but the girl pushes Manny. And Manny must have taken some fighting lessons after her last 2 fights because she body slams the random Lakehurst girl to the floor and gets to work. A whole riot between Lakehurst and Degrassi ensues, and JT, as the mascot, hits Mia's ex with the heavy mascot head, leaving Mia's ex looking dumb. After the game, Nick and a few Lakehurst guys threaten Degrassi. The beef continues as the Lakehurst guys target JT. Mia suggests that it's because Mia is Nick's ex, but Nick tells JT that's not the reason.
Stupid war about me dating your ex.
I don't care about Mia. She's just a dumb slut.
Then what is the reason? What, because JT had you looking dumb on the ground? You started it. JT confronts the Lakehurst guys and plans to fight them. He tries to recruit other people, but Jimmy and Spinner decline. And then he's left with Derek and Danny. But JT realizes that the fight would be pointless, and him and the guys leave the spot where they were gonna fight. Toby is walking home, and the Lakers guys end up jumping him because JT didn't show, leaving Toby with a broken arm. JT then promises Toby that he will not engage in the beef anymore. But the beef doesn't stop engaging with JT, which leads to one of the worst decisions in Degrassi history. Manny, still angry about her breakup with cokehead Craig.
Times change, things get outdated, like hairstyles, outfits, and stupid cokehead boyfriends.
Wants to throw a party to have fun and get over it, while Emma's parents are out of town. JT suggests that they throw a birthday party for Liberty, and Manny now has her perfect excuse to throw a party. Manny sets Liberty up with a Lakehurst student named Damien, but Liberty is still crushing on JT, and Mia is out of town. During the party, the graduates come too, And Ellie talks to Manny and says that Craig messed with them both.
You really messed with Ash.
Girl, no. Craig messed with Manny. You were obsessed with him. There's a difference. Not only did the graduates come, but Lakers students crashed the party. But Spinner and Jay throw them out, which leaves the Lakers students angry. Liberty and JT are talking, and Liberty finally confesses to JT that she still loves him.
I still love you.
JT doesn't know what to say and claims that he loves Mia, causing Liberty to storm off. JT seeks advice from Toby and decides that he's going to get him a big bowl of Liberty.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get myself a big bowl of Liberty. Oatmeal.
While searching for Liberty, JT stumbles upon 2 Lakers students, Johnny and Drake, one of them peeing near his car. JT makes a quick quip.
Aha. You guys slay me with your humor.
And out of nowhere, Drake takes out a knife and plunges it into JT's back. Liberty finds JT, and her screams for help were so heartbreaking. Amazing acting right there. Somebody help! Please! Somebody! The OG underclassmen, Manny, Emma, Toby, Liberty, and Sean are all together at the hospital. The doctor comes out and Toby pretends to be JT's brother to get information, in which the doctor tells them that JT died. The death of JT is something that I think was a bad idea. The actor wanted to go off to college, but killing JT? I hate it. But I will say, if they were gonna kill one of the OGs, JT would have been the most impactful. I mean, I can't envision them killing Emma or Manny anyway. The next episode, which deals with the aftermath of JT's death, is honestly terrible. The writers did not handle it in the way that they did with the school shooting aftermath. Like, we have Toby and Liberty kissing when Toby knew how JT felt about Liberty right before he died. What is that? We also have Ellie and her journalism storyline in the same episode. Like, who cares? JT just died. And we have Mia. I just find Mia's character insanely boring.
I haven't seen you shed a single tear.
Mia, stop it.
You're a robot, Liberty. A walking, talking computer.
The only good scene in this episode was Liberty breaking down during JT's memorial clip show. Sarah was carrying the episode on her back. Then we have Emma and some of the other Degrassi students blaming all of Lakehurst for JT's death, essentially sabotaging the Lakehurst cheerleaders during their meet against Degrassi. Those cheerleaders didn't have anything to do with it, and Snake sums it up perfectly.
Lakehurst killed JT.
Wrong. One kid killed JT. You can't blame the entire school for that. It doesn't make any sense.
And I just want to say, because there's been so much discourse over the years about who was to blame for JT dying, no, it wasn't Manny's fault for throwing the party. No, it wasn't Mia's fault for being Nick's ex. No, it wasn't Liberty's fault for leaving the party. And no, it wasn't JT's fault for leaving the party to look for Liberty. The only person at fault here is the gremlin who stabbed JT. After Ashley comes back, her and Jimmy start dating again. I honestly couldn't care less. Darcy essentially had an OF before an OF was a thing, when she started up a My Room page to show racy photos of herself that Peter helps take for her to a random man for money. So you'll judge Mia for being a teen mom, but you're sending photos to a stranger for money? Okay, Darcy. And this storyline literally shows how much of a gremlin Peter still is, as he lied to Darcy about knowing the random guy who was buying Darcy's photos.
Did you really buy that crap I told you about him? I met Adams in a chat room. He's just some bored, lonely loser with money.
But I thought he said.
Lies. A lot of lies. He played you, Darcy. Just like you played me.
The guy ends up showing up at Darcy's house.
Your cheerleading photo had the Degrassi logo, so I kind of followed you home. I just wanted us to meet.
And sweet young Claire has to call the police. This also leads to Spinner and Darcy breaking up.
But they're just looking. That's all they're doing.
That's not all they're doing, Darcy.
And by the end of the season, Darcy and Peter start a relationship. The same Peter who lied to her about knowing the random guy. Okay, Degrassi writers. Side note, I also hate this scene. Like, they were really playing with Mally's character to have her taking pictures with Peter after what he did to her. So season 7 is clearly not one of my favorites. I found a lot of the storylines and episodes boring, especially the college ones, and the fall continues next season. This season of the show is the darkest it's ever been in terms of atmosphere, an atmosphere we have not seen in the earlier seasons. I think this is definitely intentional due to the wake of JT's death. The colouring of this season definitely feeds into the dark atmosphere too. This is the start of Degrassi splitting 2 seasons into 1 school year, so we don't really need to reintroduce our OGs, but we will be introducing our new characters. For the grade 11s, we have Jane Vaughn, a rocker chick who dates Spinner. And for the grade 10s, Holly J. Sinclair, a mean, manipulative queen bee who bullies her own best friend, Anya. She's also the sister of the mysterious Heather Sinclair, who has only ever been name dropped, and we never see her. There was even a Degrassi mini posted on YouTube with the writers poking fun at the fact that we will never see what Heather Sinclair looks like.
You know, Jimmy, I just wanted to say that I really admire you.
Oh, thanks. Heather, that's surprisingly nice of you.
The way you keep spin dangling, never quite forgiving him for the shooting, passive-aggressively awesome.
Anya McPherson, Holly J's sidekick and girlfriend to Sav Bendari. Sav Bendari, a cheery boy and Anya's boyfriend. Now that we've established the newbies, let's get into the mess that is season 7. Firstly, I want to talk about one of the things that I absolutely hate the writers for doing, and that's the start of splitting 1 school year into 2 seasons. I feel like it opened the floodgates to characters overstaying their welcome, which was definitely the case for the later seasons of seasons 10 to 14. The season starts with us finding out Manny, girl. At least our face card is always valid. We find out that Lakers burned down and all the students transferred to Degrassi, which is how Sav, Anya, Holly J, and Jane end up at Degrassi. And as you can probably guess, some of JT's friends don't like this. Well, only Toby. Toby is still out here claiming that Lakers killed JT. Yeah, because Sav Bendari killed JT.
You stood there while your friend stabbed my friend to death.
Liberty sets him straight though.
Tobes, I'm never gonna be okay with the fact that JT's gone. But Lakehurst didn't kill him. One psycho did and he's in jail.
And by the end, Toby accepts that Lakehurst is at the school. I think Degrassi has a good way of introducing new characters in the background before putting them front and center. But I feel like with the college storylines and our OGs in grade 12, there wasn't much time to really cement the new characters of Sav, Anya, Holly J, and Jane in the context of them being the people who we will be left with after Manny and the others graduate. Still, the writers did manage to fully cement these characters in the next few seasons, but they just didn't do it for me this season. Love my baby boy Sav though. Holly J was the worst this season. Her bullying not only Mia about being a teen mom, but her best friend Anya too made her a good character to hate to watch.
You're my best friend.
Then why do you treat me like dirt?
Because you let me.
Anya was hopeless when it came to Holly J, but her and Sav were cute, and Jane and Spinner suited well. One of the only well-written stories this season was Darcy's assault. Darcy and Peter are currently dating when there's a school trip to ski. The students decide to have a cabin party, and Darcy is spiked and led into a bedroom, but we can't see who she's with. When she wakes up the next morning, all of a sudden, Peter is in bed with her. For context, Peter got real wasted. Darcy comes to the conclusion that she and Peter had sex, and she's extremely upset because she's taken a purity pledge of abstinence. However, Peter starts to question the whole situation and doesn't think that he had sex with her.
Stop it, Peter.
I really hope it's not true, but what if something happened?
It's not possible. I'm not the sort of person that happens to.
You're sure you had sex? I'm sure it wasn't with me.
This leads Darcy to realize that she was assaulted. She is obviously distraught and reeling from this revelation.
Darcy, we gotta talk to someone. You gotta tell. You said, Manny, you said every girl is entitled to a secret. I didn't mean getting raped.
So distraught that she harms herself, with Manny finding her in the bathroom just in time. And can I just add, the writers have really made Manny a good friend to people these past few seasons.
And it didn't count, Darcy.
Anyway, weeks go by and Darcy begins acting out at school, landing herself in detention. She tries to sleep with Peter on the school roof, but he refuses and calls her hopeless.
You're like hopeless.
Then she tries to sleep with Johnny on the roof, but Manny stops her. While on the roof, Darcy expresses to Manny that she feels broken and disgusting for what happened to her.
I just feel like dirt, Manny. I'm dirt.
To the point where she almost jumps off the roof, but Manny saves her. In the middle of all this, she begins to form an unhealthy obsession with Mr. Simpson as she confides in him. Mr. Simpson is only trying to help her, but the obsession becomes too much.
It's not very sexy.
Darcy even ends up animating a snake with boobs, like Miss Girl.
Okay. Whatever that means.
And she also inappropriately touches Snake, both making Snake uncomfortable and concerned for her.
Glad you feel comfortable talking to me, but I think you need to open up to someone else.
Can't I just eat lunch with you?
So when Mr. Simpson suggests that she confide in the school counselor instead of him, Darcy freaks out by cutting a piece of her hair. This leads Mr. Simpson to call her mother and Principal Hatsalakos for a meeting. Darcy, upset that she was blindsided by Mr. Simpson, falsely accuses him of SA.
Sometimes you hug me and touch my legs, and I find it uncomfortable.
This leads poor Mr. Simpson to be suspended and depressed for several episodes. When he does come back to Degrassi, his reputation is ruined, but he prevails the best that he can. As for Darcy, her parents enroll her in a retreat for troubled youth over spring break, as they don't know how else to help her, and Peter is there too. During the retreat, Darcy and Peter sleep together as she believes it will help her get over her assault, but it doesn't. Peter helps Darcy come to terms with her assaults. This storyline is essentially Paige's Assault 2.0, the difference being Darcy never found out who assaulted her, which is scary in itself.
You raped me, and I never even saw your face, and I've tried to erase it, but I can't.
Another storyline that I think was one of the only good storylines this season was Spinner finding out that he had testicular cancer. This storyline is heavy and feeds into the dark atmosphere of season 7. Spinner shaves his hair, starts fighting and acting out. Fortunately, by the end of the season, he's in remission and is enjoying his relationship with Jane. Now it's time to talk about a couple that I never saw coming. And I'm pretty sure no one else did either. Jay and Manny. Manny needs help during her debut, which is the 18th birthday for a Filipina. She essentially needs Jay to help fix her dad's car, which he does. Meanwhile, Manny's dad still doesn't want her to be an actress and wants her to study science in college. So Manny, being Manny, and you know she brings the chaos, enlists Jay to pretend to be her boyfriend to get under her dad's skin, because no dad wants his daughter to date the resident Degrassi devil, come on now. However, her dad actually gets along with Jay and accepts that Jay works as a mechanic instead of going to college, but won't accept Manny's dream to be an actress.
So it's okay for him to be a screw-up, but not me?
I never called you that.
No, you just make me feel like one.
Manny and Jay continue to fake date until real feelings start developing between them, and they kiss on Manny's doorstep, right when her dad opens the door. When her dad tries to drag her into the house, she blurts out that she and Jay are engaged.
Well, we're engaged.
Thus begins their fake engagement. A few weeks go by, and Manny gets accepted into Smith U for drama. While making her audition tape, Jay also films them making out. We start to see that Jay has really fallen for Manny, but Manny starts to feel too overwhelmed in her fake engagement with Jay and breaks up with him.
Freaking me out with all the next year this and someday that. When I get back home, I'm telling my parents that the engagement's off.
To retaliate, Jay, being Jay, the resident Degrassi devil, switches Manny's audition tape with their makeout tape. When Jay finally arrives at Smithdale, it's too late and Manny bombs the audition. Manny also then decides to hook up with a random sleazeball. Meanwhile, Jay tries to make it up to Manny by basically seducing the head of the drama program. He had this old lady's juices going and gets Manny a second audition. Manny is grateful and Jay and Manny are ready to get back together. Until the random sleazeball that Manny was making out with, compliments Manny on her tongue skills, and Jay is angry at her.
Hey, last night. Oh, thanks for the good times, tasty girl. Listen, our tongues should catch up with each other again soon. What do you say? After the concert. Only.
Manny ends up camping out in Jay's car and apologizes to him. She even goes as far as making their fake engagement a real one. So Manny and Jay are now officially engaged. However, things don't stay happy for long, as Manny wants to visit Jay's parents and Jay lies to her, telling her that they live in Malta. Manny, being an idiot, pawns Jay's ring to get plane tickets to Malta. When Jay finds out, he confesses the ring belonged to his mother, who died.
It belonged to my mother, my real one. The one who died when I was little.
So Jay and Manny try to get the ring back by selling the plane tickets, but fail. Jay then breaks into the pawn shop and steals the ring. When Manny finds out, she's furious and they argue, which leads to Jay calling Manny a bitch, and Manny breaks up with him.
I am the same criminal that you fell in love with.
No, you're not. You're hopeless.
You're a bitch.
Now I will say, when I first
Jay and
watched
I
this
want to
season,
spend time
I did
together. I
not
know
like
that
Manny
would
and
be
Jay together.
inappropriate.
Made sure
As
Psycho
obviously
Boy
Jay
was
was the
all
resident
alone and
Degrassi
final
devil.
round.
But as I rewatched the show a few times, I actually came around to their relationship. Cassie Steele and Mac Lobel have amazing chemistry together, which makes Manny and Jay so believable as a couple. Because if you told me in season 4 that Manny and Jay would end up dating, I would not believe you. Now we also need to talk about a storyline that I heavily disliked, which was Damien bagging all 3 of our OG girls. Damien and Manny briefly dated in season 6 and started things back up in season 7 for one episode. Their relationship is actually cited in Degrassi Wiki as the shortest relationship in Degrassi history. Then he bags Emma and they date throughout season 7. Then he decides to be trifling with Liberty and cheat on Emma in the very last episodes of season 7. Manny finds out at prom because, child, Manny knows when people be creeping because she did the same thing with Craig. Toby also finds out, and after Damien brags about it to him, he snaps and exposes all of them.
Girl is wild. Hey, thanks for keeping on the down low, huh?
I won't tell anyone that Liberty and Damien fooled around and now he's bragging about it.
The way Emma reacted was so anticlimactic, honestly. It seems like she didn't even like him like that.
Oh my god, am I the only one that didn't know about this? Thanks for ruining my prom night, pig.
They all eventually end up reuniting at graduation in the same episode, I might add. This was such a stupid plot. The last episode we have of the last group of the OGs, and we make it about Damien of all people, cheating on Emma with Liberty. The storyline for the last episode for the class of 2007 should have been about graduating without JT. But no, we have to make it about Liberty and Damien hoeing. How Damien bagged these 3 baddies, I will never know. The writers are still trying to push Ellie on us with her relationship with Jesse. Who cares? They even bring back Caitlin Ryan and Jesse cheats on Ellie with her. Mind you, Caitlin had no idea that Ellie and Jesse were dating. But here comes Ellie the pygmy who calls Caitlin a slut and nothing for Jesse.
Slut.
Paige has a kinda good storyline with their roommate Griffin being HIV positive and not telling her before they sleep together. But the writers made it seem like Paige was the one in the wrong for being upset about it.
I can't believe you went through my stuff.
We also have one of the weirdest plot lines ever, when Marco and Ellie become so codependent on each other that they make out. Okay, as I've said, the college storylines will never work for me. After Craig's debut album comes out, with shady titles might I add, Thong Girl Wrong Girl had me crying. Ashley wants to restart her music career because not only did Craig use one of their songs they co-wrote together,
he used one of my songs.
And he didn't credit you.
but others are seeing her as just one of Craig's exes and bandmates.
Is it true you were partners with Craig Manning?
We played together, yeah.
I heard She Is the Ashes about you. You're like our own little piece of him, you know?
Jimmy helps her with restarting her music career, and Ashley ends up entering a talent show with a song that she wrote called Tell Me Lies. This is when Jimmy decides to get into rapping, and he raps on Ashley's song. However, after the producer likes Jimmy's rap more than Ashley's singing, Ashley's ass deletes Jimmy's rap before sending it in. When Jimmy finds out, he tells Ashley that she was his biggest disappointment.
You've had so many disappointments.
Yeah. And you're the biggest.
Oh, Jimmy, don't gaga like that. Ashley and Jimmy end up breaking up, but not for the deleting the rap thing, which is wild. He should have broke up with her right there and then when she deleted the rap. Like, come on now, Jimmy. We also see the return of Sean for an episode, where he shows real fear of going into battle in the army.
All right, you gotta do it. You gotta train. You gotta do it again and again and again until you're perfect, or you will die. Is that what you want?
I liked the storyline, and it was cute when Sean and Emma took a Polaroid picture together like they did on their first date. This season, we bid farewell to the last of our OGs at Degrassi. Manny, Emma, Toby, Spinner, Jimmy, and Liberty. Ashley returned for no reason because she didn't even graduate. She ended up going on tour with Craig, of all people. This season is definitely at the bottom of my list, but there were still some good things to come out of the season, like Jay and Manny's chemistry, and yeah, that's about it. Here we are at the end of part 2. We've discussed seasons 1 to 7, the high highs of seasons 3 to 4, and the low lows of seasons 6 and 7. But honey, it's not over for Degrassi, as in part 2, we'll be discussing seasons 8 to 14. I'm thinking of putting Next Class in part 3. We'll see. Anyway, I'm excited to talk about some of my favorite characters in the next few seasons, like the Queen, Miss Ali Bandari, and the people that I have beef with. I'm looking at you, Eli.
Tears, Claire? Didn't expect to see those from such a whore.
Drew and Bianca, I'm coming for you. And don't get me started on Jonah. Yeah, I've got some things to say about him. And how could I forget Tristan? I'm Team Bus over here, and we're gonna get into it. Yeah, Tristan's the one I have the most beef with. Come on, I'm excited. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for part 2. I'm Realityaholic, and remember, you can do anything, whatever it takes. God bless you all.
So when in doubt, you kiss Craig?